action items. Is that a good place to put it? It's not really an action item.
Just under four, creating a 4B.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, 4B, and then, on earlier, you mentioned that under the recommendations, the road commission is not, on the list of recommendations, so we'll add an I to road commission, or to that list of recommendations, then that would be the road commission. Are there any other corrections? We did change the time of the next meeting from 3 to noon. So,
With those corrections, I would move that the agenda be adopted, so.
is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Move on to the approval of the May 4th, 26th meeting minutes. Are there any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the May 4th, 26th meeting.
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now on to action items, review of the requested information for the May 4th meeting. That's up to you, Brian.
You got it. So thank you all for your time today. We appreciate it. As a follow-up to your last meeting, I've made a list of the various items that were discussed by the commission, and then just tried to work through each of those items. I'll start with item number 1, which was a question was asked about hourly requirements. You can see here items 1 through 7. So this is Jackson County, Ingham County, Livingston, Kent, Berrien, Allegan, and Kalamazoo County confirmed in writing that no requirements were placed on their elected officials. Jackson County actually provided some additional documentation for what it's worth, but put simply, none of the counties listed in the compensation study require certain hours for any of their elected officials. Any questions on that? Okay, I'll move to item 2. As part of your last meeting, there was a question about census data, and this ties somewhat to, I think Ottawa County is proud to note that it's one of the fastest growing counties within the state of Michigan. And that's something I've heard each week. The staff here were able to put together some documents just showing the latest on census data. And I will give a shout out to our strategic impact staff. They put together a really slick chart showing the changes in census data. So you'll find it in your packet there. Any questions on census? I feel like we probably covered this at the last meeting. Okay. Moving on to item 3. So this is something that came up during the public hearing. We had a couple of the countywide electeds speak to longevity pay. So I've worked with staff in the administrator's office. I've worked with staff in the human resources office and tried to put together a summary of what the longevity pay program was, how it has worked in the past, when it was brought back, and then what exclusions exist. And so as you look through here, you'll find that this was reestablished by the Board of Commissioners in January of 2024. The program made payments that were intended for the unclassified employee group. And in the policy, I've pulled it in and you can see a highlight. It very clearly notes that it does not include elected officials. The program allows for an annual payment of $500 after the first 5 years of service. For each year after 5, an additional $100 is added, up to a maximum payment of $3,000 per year. In reviewing the program, there is evidence that in the past, some elected officials have received the payment, but not all of the county's elected officials received the payment. When the program was reinstituted in 2024, it was made very clear in the policy that it is intended for the employees that are not elected. I will happily pause and answer any questions, but I wanted to just make clear that everyone understood that since 2024, it is not intended for electeds. Okay. Copy of the longevity policy language is baked in. It's on page 3. And then as you get into page 4, you can see that yellow highlight taken directly from the policy language, at least there. Mhm. Oh, so Regina just pointed something out and she's right. So the yellow highlight, just key on that, that is taken directly from the 2010 policy language. So again, chase this down the rabbit hole without a doubt. Elected officials in the past have been receiving it, and unfortunately, the best answer I can offer is it appears that we shouldn't have been running it that way. And again, I don't have a whole lot more that I can offer other than to say the policy language is clear.
You're not asking for the money back.
No.
Good to hear that.
Only for those that are mowing on Sunday. Okay, going on to item number 4. So I'm going to do my best to summarize this benefits information. And then we have Aaron here to help with any questions about the specifics of the benefit information. Before I start down this path, I do want to make reference to the item that will come directly after that, which is, oh yeah.
Shut the door. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think we'll.
I just wanted to make sure all of you saw that we do have corporate counsel in the room. Ask corporate counsel to just offer some thoughts as it relates to benefits. You will see in your packet that it's very clear that Compensation Commission is tasked and is tasked with setting a wage recommendation, not a benefit recommendation. So we're going to do our best to answer any questions about benefits, but I will just keep reminding you that you do have a legal opinion that says focus on wage, not on benefit. Now, with that said, the question was asked at your last meeting, so we're going to answer those questions. So as you look at bottom of page 4 into page 5, you will find a summary of the county's benefit program. So we have the health insurance program, and there is a variety of details provided there. We then have the retirement program, also provided a variety of details. Madam Chair, would you like me to read through this information for the record and then defer questions to Aaron, or do you want me to just pull her up right now?
Just read it real quickly. And then
Okay.
we'll.
So under the health insurance program, if the insurance rate exceeds over 3%, employees pay half of the increase over the 3% automatically. This will be in addition to any premium share in effect from the prior year. Part-time employees, this was a question that was asked, is there any type of proration? Yes. Part-time employees pay the difference between their FTE and 1.0 of the full plan costs plus any costs full-time employees pay. Employee cost shares for 2026, the HSA 1700 is at 14.12%, HSA 3000 is at 3.35%, HSA 4000 is at 1.55%. The active rate sheets are baked into your packet. You can see all of that information. Basic dental and vision plans are available at a 10% cost to employees. Enhanced plans are available for the difference between the enhanced plan and basic plan. Whatever 10% of the basic plan is. That is what the county pays for the enhanced plan, and the employees cover the difference. And then Ottawa County offers a stipend for full-time employees who opt out of the health insurance plan. The stipend provides a payment of $92.31 per pay period for a total of $2,492.37. Before I go any further, I'll pause to see if there are questions.
Is there a stipend for part-time employees?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's prorated by FTE. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, before I go any further, I'm going to look to our HR staff person and make sure I haven't misstated anything. Do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Pretty sure did you type this for me? You ready? Had a feeling. All right, moving into the retirement program. So, the MERS program you may have heard about in the past. So there is the defined benefit program. Essentially, Ottawa County made a move from a standard pension to a more standard retirement approach. So I'm just going to walk you through. If there's questions, just chime in. So the MERS defined benefit, employee and employer rate depends on the benefit manual collective bargaining agreement that's attached to the packet. The MERS defined contribution, commissioners, Board of Commission members can participate. They would have to choose between 3% and up to 6%. The county then matches the same. All other employees pay a mandatory 6% and the county matches 8%. The Empower 457 program is also available. Unclassified members, county matches 25% of the employees' contribution up to the IRS maximum. All others, county matches either 20 or 25% of the employee's contribution up to $1,000 per calendar year. Continuing on, there's just confirmation on the part-time benefits for any of the part-time county employees. Again, I'll pause there just to make sure there's no questions. Okay.
And there's a email put into this information too from Doug, who said the compensation commission's purview is only wage and salaries, not pennies.
That's really where I wanted to make sure that you all saw. So as a follow-up to the last meeting, we had a variety of questions about benefits, which is completely fine. I reached out to Doug and just asked for confirmation that as it relates to the role of this group, you need to steer away from the benefits portion of the conversation.
Nathan.
Madam Chair, if I could add to that.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with, when you're looking at comparables, though, to look at benefit packages. I'm just thinking, Board of Trustees of my church, and ministers can get a tremendous amount in housing allowance, 35% or 40% under IRS rules. So if you're really just looking at a minister's salary and you were comparing salaries without taking into housing allowances, you might be skewed, right? And so if you're trying to compare the Ottawa prosecutor and the Kent County prosecutor, you might drift off into at least looking at their benefit packages somewhat to make sure that on the compensation side, you're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges.
Who determines if the elected officials get that are offered benefits, if it's not this committee?
The board itself, I believe, would.
Board of Commissioners,
Okay,
for example, on longevity.
Yep.
They could say we're looking for longevity,
okay.
2 commissioners or not. That's a decision by the board.
And I'm drawing a blank, but I saw a note in some of the research that the board took action to modify the retirement program. That would have been a time, around the time of shutting down the pension program for new hires. So there is evidence of the board modifying the benefit level. But for you all, on a go-forward basis, the best advice we can offer is just focus on the wage.
I think our interest, at least in part, was the value. of
Yes.
it.
Right.
How we might be inclined to equalize using salary, not directing it to, you know, how we grant the benefits. That's the way I recall it.
So reading the statute, it says establish a county officers compensation commission to determine the compensation for the non-judicial elected officials of the county. Where do we get with that?
The big cases that
Okay.
basically said that is wages. Benefits are not considered compensation for purposes of that statute.
Okay,
So Madam Chair, just diving back into the document, so I'm on page 6, and it just Doug's email, I have just copied and pasted, put it into your packet. Then there is a supplement that he's provided that's intended to address any questions about this. If there are lingering questions on benefits, I'm happy to address them. Madam Chair, Commissioner France asked a question on the value of the benefit. Have we answered that question?
Pretty much, what I was referring to is I took a look, or we took a look collectively at the commissioners' relative salaries, and the $22,000 value of healthcare in Allegheny County jumped out at us.
Yeah.
As something that we might want to take into account. And I think that's, in my mind, that's where we kind of started with that thinking.
Okay,
Not that we wanted to demand healthcare for commissioners, but we wanted to make sure that if there's a discrepancy in value that we can fix by changing wages, we might want to do that.
which of the elected officials currently get benefits?
Of the county commissioners? Or all of them?
All of them.
Well, the countywide elected officials, the sheriff, the prosecutor, treasurer, or registered water resources commissioner. I'm not sure, Aaron, can you fill us in on the commissioners themselves and the road commission members? Or that would be, road commission members would know that.
So commissioners, they don't get health insurance unless they pay full price for it. But they do have access to the 457 plan without a match, and they do. And they do have a small life insurance.
You don't, probably road commission has the details about whether they have coverage.
Road commission, I don't have anything, unfortunately.
on the health insurance, I think we just have one member of the board participating. Does that sound right?
I don't know who allowed to release.
Oh, okay.
information.
So let me restate that. We do have a member of the board that is purchasing the health insurance program. And then we do have other members of the board who are taking advantage of or participating in the retirement program. So to try and circle back to your question, the benefits that we've discussed amongst the board members, there is usage. Amongst the countywide officials, there is active usage. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Chair, just jumping back to Commissioner Francis' question one more time. Are you looking for a spreadsheet that breaks down the value of health versus retirement?
Well, I probably was at the last meeting, but I've changed my thinking a bit.
Okay. Okay,
Thinking about the actual utility of offering benefits that are not taken, for example. I think that's something that I didn't, in my own mind, factor into it, and I think I now have maybe a better, more accurate picture of that.
okay,
For example, probably every commissioner that walks into the boardroom has health care when they get voted into office of some kind. with the exception of this one individual apparently. It's not like everybody's using it. And if we were to grant it to everybody, a lot of them probably would opt out for the 2,900 or whatever it is, and that would be it. Whereas I've been told that there's a possibility in other counties like Allegan, for example, that actually might be a more valuable benefit. I mean, I can remember the days when most of the commissioners were either funeral directors or farmers. And it probably was a big valuable benefit, where now that's rare.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually the group of commissioners is quite a bit younger than they used to be too. We had a lot of them that died in office back in the day.
Hopefully not in the chairs.
That's where the funeral directors came in.
Got a lot of business that.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Continuing on into item 5, the Baker Tilly wage study. And we discussed this now at the last 2 meetings, and unfortunately, we're in a situation where there's not a whole lot to report. The Board of Commissioners will meet again tomorrow night, and the wage study is on their agenda. However, I can't say with any degree of confidence whether or not they will adopt it, whether or not they will need more time. So unfortunately, I don't have much to report on the status of the wage study. However, one item that I do want to make sure that you all see is during your public hearing, a document was handed out through the clerk that made reference to the chief deputy positions. And we actually did find an error in that. So that document has been updated. We have it baked into your packet, and we have mirrored the format so that what you're looking at is very, very similar. But the thing that I wanted to stress is the chief deputy wages under the Baker Tilly study are presented in there. So you can see if the board takes action, you can see what those wage levels are likely to. And Madam Chair, then moving on to cost of living adjustments. This is something that I think really does have some value for, is food for thought. One of the questions that came out of your last session was just trying to predict what COLA adjustments are likely on a go-forward basis for the county's non-union staff versus union staff. Working with the Human Resources Director, or I'm sorry, the Human Resources Department and Fiscal Services, we were able to confirm a variety of information. As we look at the draft budget, Fiscal Services face with a ton of caveats that it is the final decision of the Board of Commissioners, and nothing is final until the board acts. But with that said, we envision that COLAs of between 2.75% and 3% will be ultimately found in the approved budget document. Human Resources has confirmed that there are 9 unions receiving a 3% COLA, and that adjustment will occur on January 1st, 2026. All of the county's collective bargaining agreements are set to expire at the end of this calendar year. So December 31st, negotiations will be well underway and new agreements will be inked.
So the 3% COLA adjustment went into effect January of this year.
Yes, yep. And to speculate on what the next round of agreements will look like, I wouldn't dare touch that. But the 9 agreements are all subject to bargaining. And then the last document that I found to be really helpful is we were able to get for you all to review Kent County's Compensation Commission has wrapped up their work and has recommended 4.5% increase. That document is attached to your packet. And as you can see, they're taking the position of just doing it across the board. And it was interesting.
Are those meetings on YouTube?
Another.
That is attached to your packet and, I think that is all of my notes. It is, those are all of the notes.
Thank you very much. Good information. Appreciate that. Going on to, we have Erin here from HR. If there are any further questions for her that we did cover during Brian's presentation. But anything else that, or Erin, did you have things you wanted to share with us?
No, I think, Chair.
Okay,
Madam Chair,
Yep.
before you excuse her, I would like to just publicly thank her for her help in prepping this. Thank you.
she's very, very good at her job. Oh, thank you, Erin. You're welcome. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Okay, so now we're on to mission discussion, where I guess this is where the rubber meets the road.
Yes.
We've had a lot of information given to us, got a lot of from elected officials, from county administrative offices and looking through statute. So just, I'm gonna pause here for a minute and ask some of the folks who've been on this commission before, how did you proceed from this point on the last time?
Essentially, we just made motions and what we wanted to have done. So,
Was there discussion about it?
there would be discussion within the motion process.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna take a pause here, though, commission discussion under item 5. I just had a couple of questions as I was reading through the packet of materials. One of them was this idea of parity between the clerk, register, treasurer, and drain commissioner. How did that idea come up, or how was that discussed the last session?
My memory on this is proven to be unreliable.
It was chaotic, to be honest with you.
Ah.
It came up chaotically. If I remember correctly. Trying to remember, this person who led us last time didn't really lead us very well, if I'm being honest. So it was kind of wishy-washy, but trying to, so that whole process, trying to give them all, the same stuff, it was just sort of thrown out there and then, hey, let's talk about that. Yeah, so it was all just chaotically thrown out there, sort of like darts at a board and see what sticks type thing. And then it was trying to discuss that, but it was all thrown together, last minute type thing. Because we had the whole process, 3 different administrators, I think, were through that. We just went through a lot of people trying to lead us and stuff too. So it was like the blind leading the blind, basically. So best way I can describe it. So
Angela, any recollection from you as well?
Can you repeat the question? I just want to make sure I have
The idea of parity between the clerk register, the drain commissioner, and the treasurer, just trying to get a sense of where that idea came from. And
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy for me too. I think that we looked, if I remember correctly, I think that we looked at the data that we were given, at what other counties were doing, and just trying to be kind of just match what other counties were doing, similar counties. And so I think that's where the discussion came up to equalize those 3 positions. Did we ever decide on it? I can't recall, I don't know.
A vote was taken outside of the statutory window.
Okay,
Oh,
to equalize them?
yes.
Okay, that was the May 2nd meeting. Right, the one that didn't count,
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
Very generous raises were given
Yeah,
in the last period. Equalization would not be a priority for me at this point.
yeah,
Along that line, maybe Doug can help us on this. And we're I know there's some interest of other commission members in this issue, but the insurance authority adjustments tended to equalize those positions. As far as 2026 ultimate salary. If that's the case, does that reflect a decision of the administration here in the county or?
No, at the risk of opening this thing up again, I really think your focus should be forward. The reality is, other tasks were found that frankly were on my plate, that were given to them that were unique, specific, and had no bearing at all on what we do now and going forward. So really, you should start with a fresh slate and not worry too much about what happened before or what. No decision was altered by the Board of Commissioners. They decided to table it. And so the salaries that they received were the salaries they received. And that's where you start from now. So you should decide afresh what you want to do with those positions from your own research without being bound to, well, they've been equalized in any way. They haven't been.
I was more getting at whether there was some kind of a survey or some special thinking that went into that decision to effectively equalize for 2026 that we should know about. Or some kind of a survey that perhaps we don't have yet or anything like that.
Looking at this information, it doesn't look like a lot of counties are equalizing those roles. So I'm not sure where we ever came up with that notion, but.
I have a vague memory of throwing the question out there, should all 5 countywide positions be equalized? And I think because of the staff sizes and education levels at prosecutor's office and the sheriff's office, I think we sort of put that idea to rest rather quickly. And I don't know how or why we came to the decision on the bottom 3.
Yeah,
But regardless, the decision was outside of the,
right.
we were just 5 people meeting at that point.
Mhm.
You know, an alternative way of perhaps looking at it, to try not to get into the history that we don't know, is to look at that percentage differential between the maximum chief deputy salary and the elected officials. We talked, everybody that was here from the elected official standpoint made a comment about that, or responded to my question. And, you know, as a matter of policy to get us going in a productive direction, maybe we should discuss if we are comfortable with like a 10% differential or something else. I mean, and that would have the impact of adjusting somewhat to official salaries, no doubt. But it would be based on, you know, some logic. Elected officials have to run for re-election and so on, and obviously have more authority and more responsibility than chief deputies, and probably should be paid more. I think. And
Yeah, on the sheet that Brian updated, it actually has on the last column, the max difference that you mentioned, it puts
Right.
there.
Mark, what page are you looking at?
There's no page.
about halfway through the.
Yeah, halfway through
This is
the
what it
new
looks like.
packet.
The new one?
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
packet. So I updated the stuff that we got from the treasurer, it was outdated from her.
So Lindy's, can you see the?
Yeah, that's a general idea of what it looks like, yeah.
And then it's the bottom one, you had the max difference where the percentage come into play that you were talking about, Ron, so right there is where. That's where, but no, like, we talked about it after last time, that 10% is that good. Nice figure, 10 to 15%. Between, you know, the elected and the deputy. And that's where you'd have to move, you know, the treasurer and the commission, water commissioner up, because they're actually really close to their chiefs here.
Yeah, well,
That's
and
the only.
to add on to that, so earlier today I had a thought, because I was looking at this chart and I thought, well, what are the chief deputies making right now?
Do you want me to walk through those?
Yes, please.
Okay, so, and again, the Baker Tilly study, we've shown you what the ranges could be. This is the ranges as of today, not including the Baker Tilly. Chief
This does
Deputy,
not include Baker Tilly.
I'm gonna walk you through the chief deputy pay as of today, prior to any changes tied to the Baker Tilly study.
Okay, so we're differentiating between actual pay for those depending on the years of service and the theoretical maximum.
Correct.
They've been there long enough to be at the top step.
Which would kind of make sense to me, because there will be a commission again in 2 years that if the deputies' wages have increased, can be addressed at that point. And Ronnie will be on it.
So I'm gonna walk you through these. I did not print this out, so just, I'll happily repeat them. So Chief Deputy Water Resources Commissioner. As of today, it is 94,765. Chief Deputy Treasurer, 90,448. Chief Deputy Clerk, 117,583. Chief Deputy Register of Deeds, 117,583. Under Sheriff, 157,039. Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, 155,318.
So taking that information, so you look at so there's the mid or the minimum, mid and maximum points, and there's a 7 scales or 7 steps you can go in the classification. So Deputy Water Resource Commissioner is just above the minimum. See that? So there is
Yeah.
90.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Chief Deputy Treasurer is actually below the minimum.
Although I think right there was like 90.
Yeah, 90,448.
Which I'm not quite sure how that happened. but
These numbers, you said these are Baker Tilly numbers, right?
These are the Baker Tilly numbers.
Yeah, so these numbers here are proposed,
Okay,
new
okay.
numbers.
Okay, so that's helpful.
Oh,
Yeah.
all of these, not just the maximum, all of them are
So,
impacted by Baker Tilly.
yes,
Okay.
so all of the chief deputy positions will be affected by the Baker
But
Tilly
I mean,
study.
the chart we have reflects the Baker Tilly addition, if there is one.
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
So then Chief Deputy Clerk and Registered Deeds are just below the midpoint maximum. Under Sheriff is,
That's above them. He was
Above the
57,
max.
wasn't he?
Mhm,
yeah.
So he's actually above that maximum.
that's correct.
Who gets to tell him that?
So it is something that the sheriff's aware of, and under the Baker Tilly program, there is a dedicated appeals process. So assuming the board were to take action, you can guess that there's likely to be a series of appeals. I would anticipate that is one of the appeals that would occur.
Same thing, the Deputy Prosecutor is at a little bit above the midpoint.
At this point, does anybody see serious upward pressure from any of these chief deputies?
So can you explain the process of how people go up the steps?
Well, I'll do my best and tell me if I'm answering the question the way that you're anticipating. So as they move through the steps, there's going to be annual evaluations, there's going to be time served, so assuming you are doing a good job and you are showing up, that you can then move up through the steps beyond just the standard cost of living adjustment. Is that where you're going? Okay,
So for instance, the Chief Deputy Water Resources Commissioner, because they're just above the minimum point on step 1, maybe they're step 2 right now, they're not gonna leap up to step 6 in the next year or the next 2 years. Unless they're just saving millions of dollars, or I don't even know what that.
If they can fix water pressure in Georgetown.
Oh, that would be, oh, really? That'd be a major job. Yeah.
So it's not likely that these huge steps will happen up from minimum to maximum. That makes sense. Ron, do you have any?
Oh, we're talking about 2 different things here. There's 2 different ways of looking at this. One is the current salary and longevity of the chief deputy. And it sounds like the majority of them are not at the top step in their position currently. And if you apply 10% to that, There's gonna be some catching up over the next couple of years by them getting steps that would lessen that percentage. The other way of looking at it is look at the maximums. And add 10% to that, and I don't know, it sounds like we're talking both ways, we're sure if we settle on an approach there. I know you were talking about the current salaries, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
I
it's-
was with Ron seeing what do they currently make at the top and then go 10% above that, keep them above the top end, whenever they get there. Whoever it is, because you can still bring somebody, yeah, you know, and then make sure they're still above their chief, because. At some point, you can get close to it and then you're, you know, right there, so whenever that is.
yeah, I would argue, Mark, that will be the job of.
Well, it could be their job, no, I hear
Next
you too,
commission.
no, that's, yeah, we could. Punt it to the next 2 years and say, hey, have fun, you know, and then have it be their job, but no, agreed, no, it's.
Is it pretty standard for these positions that they just get the cost of living increase each year? Is that how the steps go?
So for the chief deputies or for,
Yeah,
so for the chief deputy, I think that you've got a unique situation where you have several. There's been some turnovers at the countywide elected official. So you have a somewhat unique moment where there are chief deputies that are essentially brand new into that role.
Mhm.
So to say how fast they will advance, I don't feel I can answer
Yeah.
that. The undersheriff would be someone that's brand new in that role.
Mhm.
Prosecutor's office, again, it would be a good example of this is very new.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it didn't really answer your
Yeah.
question.
You know, you swerved in another interesting issue here, that is how COLA affects the steps.
Yes,
Mhm.
So the steps are moving year to year.
Yes.
They're not stationary. And of course, COLA applies to the elected officials as well. So they're marching at maybe a little bit different rates.
But there's the step increase plus COLA,
Right.
so it's not one or the other. It's
Right.
So this maximum from Baker Tilly is only theoretical. There could be more COLA over the next few years that would impact those numbers too, right?
I think it is, I think your statement is correct, but I think that this is set up so that the steps are relatively easy to predict and you get a good sense of the estimated total amount. To continue the effort to make this as clear as mud, I do want to make sure that you all note in tomorrow night's meeting packet. The recommendation is coming from the administrator to approve the Baker Tilly study and actually make those adjustments retroactive to May 1st. So just be aware that the Baker Tilly study is queued up. I believe that it's ready. However, I also thought that 2 months ago. So if you all wrap up your recommendations today, just know that there is a chance that the Baker Tilly study could be completed tomorrow night.
And then all of these elected official salaries would go into effect. No, that's not right. We're doing that.
Yes.
These people salaries would go that. Okay.
Yeah, chief deputies would be immediately impacted. And it would probably take anywhere from 30 to 60 days to complete all of the remaining paperwork from Human Resources Department.
And the undersheriff needs to bring his checkbook.
No comment.
Let's see. Anyways, we've gone over I just had concerns about, our concerns are just looking at the data about the chief deputy's wages. Okay, the only other question I had, and I know this might be nitpicking, but we have 9 other counties that we're compared to, 10 other counties, I think. And I'm just wondering, are we happy with the comparisons in this chart that was done for us?
I think you want to reference the chart. There's an updated one in the binder.
Okay.
That's the one that had I just corrected it with the chair and vice chair.
Yeah.
That's just reminder.
So the reason I bring this up, and it's just me, Berrien County, and Allegan County are half the size of Ottawa County. And so,
And Madam Chair, Berrien is very unique in that they are still running a privately managed pension program. And that pension, the members of the Board of Commissioners, they're able to immediately participate in that. It is not a MERS run pension, it is 100% run at the county level. It is very much a unique exam. Okay.
The updated one is in the binder, starts on page 9, or I guess it's 11 of the actual chart, but it's right towards the beginning there.
and I'm assuming, the reason I asked that question is,
Thank you.
I don't know,
Too far.
too far? Oh,
She just needs to put 9.
yeah. I'll get there. The reason I asked the question is because we were presented with these counties as a comparison. But I know, for instance, Genesee County is the fifth largest county, isn't included in that. And then Allegan and Berrien are included, they're half the wage or half the population size. So I just wanted to make note of it,
Yeah,
so. If we're happy with these numbers, I don't think it changes all that much in terms of the average or the median salaries. But it's just different. Yeah, it doesn't change that much. If we exclude a couple or Genesee, I'm not sure why they would have excluded Genesee.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So. The quick question too, I also had taken some time. Based on this document here. So you go through and you note that, our prosecuting attorney is paid, let's see. 14% above median. The sheriff is paid 16% above median. Or average. So they're just paid more than what is the median here. The clerk. The clerk register of deeds. Is actually paid below median. And so. He's paid about 6% below median. Treasurer's paid. About 15, almost 16% above median, and the drain commissioners paid about 9.9% above median, above both the average and the median. So just something to note about Justin's salary as it stands, that he's a little out of the line of what other counties are paying for that combined position.
Above average, but below median.
Yeah,
You're looking at. Maybe a different chart than I'm sure it's the same one. So,
this
yeah,
one, well, I guess if you're in this one, she's talking about comparing.
right, but I'm not seeing the comparison that she's giving, so
oh, well, I just did some calculations. Oh, they're just right here.
funny fuzzy math.
Yeah, no, I did it on the computer just to make it. But it's just something to put into our thought process as to where Justin stands. In the overall picture of compensation. So. Okay, any other discussion, general discussion about what we've seen or?
So. What would be the impact? Let's take just the water resources, Commissioner, for a moment. of going 10% above the current chief deputy's salary. Did that change anything? Trying to look for a logical,
I think
defendable way. to-
Significantly reduce his pay.
Yeah,
What-
he's already, so
Yeah.
so the current is 94 and he is currently making 126, so that's, I would say significantly.
94,765 is the current.
Yeah,
He was lower his pay by a lot,
So that using the 10% out
mm-mm,
not unless you
Well-
went above the top end of the spectrum, then you'd have to
Right.
raise his pay.
yeah,
So the only way that would work if you do the top end of the chief's pay, not what the chief's currently making.
well, you know, the irony would be that the Water Resources Commissioner and Treasurer would go past the county clerk salary, I think.
so I
Use the
actually,
maximum.
I have a question on that. So for the clerk and the deeds, Justin is doing the combine, correct?
Correct.
Do you think we should take that into consideration? If you look at other counties, each position is getting paid equal pay. If you combine that together for one position, which is what Justin is doing, that would give him a significant bump, I would think.
I don't think that means he works 80 hours though.
Right,
No, I know what you're saying, but yeah, he's making considerably, yeah, he's making a lot less for doing both jobs. I know what you're trying to get at, but
Right.
yes. Yeah, because a lot of these guys are paying him about 110 for both jobs, and he's making 100, about that same price for one.
right.
No, I know what you're saying, yeah.
I just think maybe it's something that we consider and.
I think that's what came up in the last discussion is when we saw that, that's what
Yeah.
started the conversation of should we, and then the other two were brought into play along with that, because he is making, you know, because, you know, we have more people that Kalamazoo, and Kalamazoo makes, 10 grand more than he does, well, he should be above that, because he does a lot more. Badger County, we do a lot more elections, so we should be above, Kalamazoo's, because he does a lot more than that one. In my opinion, so he just there.
And Washtenaw is just above us.
Well, Washington does, for all the elected, they do 170 across the board, they just keep it.
Yeah.
Equal, which is smart, in my opinion, I think it's just, it's 170.
I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but with Justin's presentation compared to the others, he was the one that did not seem to be asking for anything.
Yeah,
He didn't list the 5 counties that pay more than we do.
right,
Everyone else is, you could just tell that he loves his work, obviously,
yeah,
but it doesn't seem like he's being paid fairly.
fairly.
I think he
Yeah.
did mention though that he was below the median. In his pay, he did.
But in
request
such a way that it
Yeah.
didn't seem to be involved.
Mhm.
Right,
So, yeah, he does run the elections, he does the other side, he does do a lot, he has to oversee a lot of stuff. No, yeah, I mean, that, I thought about that though too, he does do a lot, by the way, he's never opposed in elections, because. When it comes up for his time, nobody wants, nobody wants that job.
well, he does a great job.
No, he does do a very good job, It's run very well, so no, it's, yeah, and that brings a good point though, too, we probably should, consider that too, he's doing. Job to people,
Just to throw in, just for discussion purposes. I'm thinking my own mind, for the deputy clerk register needs to be about the 150 range. And the Water Resources Commissioner treasurer be about the 140.
yeah, that's.
Be a substantial increase for water resources, much less for the treasurer, but. I think that the relative pay makes some sense between those two positions.
Well, I don't wanna get,
That's not based on logic, that's just to
Round numbers start like.
try to get
yeah,
off the
so
dime
now-
here a little bit.
sounds like we're getting to that point where we're throwing out numbers, and maybe we should then head into the discussion of. The individual offices instead of keeping it a general conversation. What do you say about that?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
So, let's go to the first Board of Commissioners, the chair of the board.
Oh.
And
I would like to make a motion that the chair of the board has his pay increased to $50,000 a year. Then the vice chair of the board had his pay increased to $47,000 a year. And that board members have their pay increased to $45,000 per year.
Can you can you walk that back so we've got those numbers exactly?
Yes. The chairperson, 50,000,
Okay,
vice chair, 47,000,
47.
each member, 45,000.
Yeah,
What are they paid now? I don't have it.
27.
Oh,
I'm supposed to double it. Basically double it.
all right.
Is everyone knows?
Lynn, would you repeat that one more time?
What do you mean if you?
Yes, 50,000 for the chair position, 47 for the vice chair, and 45 for the commissioners.
Oh,
and Madam Chair,
yeah.
out of respect, you have a motion. Before we start debating, you should have a
A
second.
second. There's a second on that.
Well, I'll second it for the purposes of the debate, but I've got some different ideas.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
So now we'll talk about this, we'll discuss it a little bit here. So Lynn, tell us why you're making that motion.
Several reasons. One, I think they've been woefully underpaid in the past. I think we need to have these be competitive positions. We need the best and brightest in the county being able to fill these roles, and when it's a less than minimum wage job in many cases, only the people who are independently wealthy are able to run for those seats. It will still be dynamically lower than any of the county employees are making.
I'll throw my 2 cents in here. Having been an elected official at the local level, I didn't look at it as a job. It was a duty or a privilege. And so the wage, well, it made a difference. It didn't make that much of a difference because I was elected to serve the citizens of my township or my county or the state legislature. So I still view the county board personally as a part-time role. They represent about 30,000 people. Some, like my township had about 20,000 people in it. So, I view it just differently. And so I don't know if it takes, that much of a bump up in salary.
Sorry, Craig. I shouldn't have had that second thought.
So I don't know if it takes that much of a bump up in salary because, that to me that's just a lot to jump up, I guess. So other discussion, other points of view.
The numbers I was thinking of were 50 for the chairperson, 45 for the vice chair, and 40 for the commissioners.
Okay.
Very close to what you're talking about, but I think the $10,000 difference between chairperson and commissioner is well worth it. I've seen how chairpersons work and their responsibility and so on. It seems like there ought to be a very substantial increase there. A vice chair, a $5,000 bump over a basic commissioner. It's kind of along lines you're saying, maybe just not quite as generous.
And what were you suggesting for vice chair?
45.
Okay.
But I agree with you two, though, you wanna have enough of an incentive to run. Well, I think there's a lot of bright young minds that wanna run, but like you said, it's. The duty's there, but they don't have the means to offset their job or something else, because they're not independently wealthy to offset that. But 30 hours a week when they have, a job, they can't, so the time off of work, they don't have, because they don't have that stuff, the flexibility to do all that stuff, because they don't have a contracting job, being like our commissioner currently has, so they don't have that means currently. So that's why some people don't run, it's just harder to do that in politics and stuff, so it's. Those are people go into because the people who could do it, their duty and they could make a difference, can't find the backing for it or things like that. But like Amanda said, it's duty, but some people want to have that financial incentive to do it, unfortunately, and if we entice them, we might get more minds out there that are, don't die on the bench as, I said back in the old days. But we get some younger minds out there, might bring some fresh ideas maybe, because that generation is more enticed with money than, others are, so it's just, I think that way though too, I was thinking along the 45, 50 up there for that. The board chair and stuff, just because you have to, entice people nowadays with something to run for it and stuff. So no, I'm right there with you too, with that compensation.
I don't disagree with the amounts. I think that those positions are deserving of it. I think that they do work really hard. But looking at the comparables, it's significantly higher
That
than
too.
any other county.
Kent County is the only one that's close to the board chair.
Even Kent though, they just increased their commissioner to 32. So if we do 40 or 45 for a commissioner, we're looking to pay our commissioners 8 to 15,000 more than Kent County, which is quite a bit larger than Ottawa County. So I think that's something to consider.
I hope we can inspire these counties to do better.
Yeah. And I do think that they are. I think that there's talks of other counties increasing too. But
And we are
that's quite a
growing and we are pulling people from Kent and come up this way too, so we are taking over too. But no, I see what you're saying though too. I mean, yeah, I saw when they said that number too, I'm like, oh, that is quite a lot higher, but
Yeah, that's,
some of these counties aren't as big as ours or growing as fast as ours, so I mean, there's that side of it too, but
is it almost like a 50% increase at 40,000 to what the county commissioners would make here?
yeah.
And then the chair was going up.
And then this was another discussion that we had. So the board has to approve this.
Yes.
Mhm.
And how likely are they to approve such a significant jump in their own pay without it?
Could we recommend a step like this one year, then this another year?
You can do that.
We phase it in.
We phase it in like 2 years, that way it's not a huge increase,
Yeah.
that way we say, hey, this one year, then this the next year, then we have the steps, that way it's not such a big.
The board can just be silent on it.
Right, the board really doesn't approve it,
It's true.
they could just let it,
Go.
kind of like a pocket veto, and just let it go.
But that way, if we can get that big one, and then we put it in steps, and hey, we get this year for you, and next year you get that. Another one, that way they can.
I think this is just the editorial. I do think your comment though is correct, that such a large percentage is going to draw some interest. It is a certainty that it will draw media coverage. So there is that chance that the board could feel pressured to say thank you, but no, thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
I think that's.
and they're not up for election this year because there's a 4-year term now, but still, it looks. You have to put yourself in that place if you're running for election.
Yeah, you just know how the media will spin it, they're giving themselves a, 50% increase, and we know that that's not the case, but.
Right, and remember last time, like I said, it was the circus last time this all came up, it was huge ordeal, it was, I remember it last time, so it was, and we don't wanna have it repeat, so that's why I think you wanna try to do it better this time, so that's why, say if it's a step, then. Say there's 2 steps there, that way it's not all one time, it's just boom, boom, and it's a little bit. Easier on it, it's not that way, it's.
Well, we've had 2 different numbers talked about.
Yes.
What if we were to go with Ron's numbers for? It doesn't quite work, but,
But if you did a step up,
Yeah, I like the idea of phase, I think that's actually a very good idea. The other issue is we could, not give them COLA,
what,
because we're getting big steps.
do they get COLA?
Yep,
Yeah.
they would normally.
Are you sure?
They have, I'm very about coffee. They
Yeah,
have-
historically, everybody gets the same COLA rate historically. I don't think we're mandated to do it that way. But have to.
So we could tell them, you guys don't get cold, but you guys get this, is that what we could say? I mean, legally, is that what we can say?
You could do that.
Okay, I mean,
And Madam Chair, I'm just going to
Yeah.
politely suggest before you start down the path of these are the numbers. Just remember, you do have a motion and a second, and there has been no amendment to that motion.
right,
Okay, thank you.
Another thought I had was perhaps paying the chair $1,000 more a month than the regular commissioner. So I'm just kind of backing off what this further discussion has been. Just because the duties are just that much heavier on the chair. Pay the vice chair. It's $6,000, so it'll be $500 a month more for their duties. And then I haven't gotten down to the commissioner level, but just to give a differentiation between the chair and the vice chair and the level of duties that they're at. So maybe you. That's just a thought I had. But I still think the 50% bump up would be. I think it would be hard as an elected official to accept that because of the media. However, if you did something like, for the upcoming year to, maybe a 15%. And then the succeeding year, do a 10% or something like that. Then it wouldn't be as
Dramatic.
yeah. So I'm just, and I'm looking at comparisons of other counties. Like, oh. Yeah. So,
Well, we're not talking about benefit comparisons again,
Right.
and I'm kind of convinced that that really should not be a big concern of this group. And again, it's hard to say who's actually using the benefits and who isn't, other than life insurance is probably. To follow up on the thought here of phasing. Let me offer an amendment that we do it 2 years. First year is commissioners 35,000, vice chair 40, and chairman 45. Second year, commissioners 40,000, vice chair 45, and chairman 50. And neither have COLA. This will exceed the amount of COLA anyway, so there's no COLA for commissioners. They get those 2 big bumps over 2 years.
I would accept that as a friendly amendment, even though that's not really a thing.
well, you're offering that as an amendment. Are you wanting to second that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Madam Chair,
yes.
just for point of clarity, I'm gonna read this out just to make sure that we have this down correctly. So year one, 35 for the board, 40,000 for the vice chair, 45 for the chair. Year two, 40,000 for the board, 45,000 for the vice chair, 50,000 for the chair, with the caveat of no COLA adjustments to follow. Is that correct
Yep.
summary?
What's on your mind, Doug? You're thinking something and I don't want to walk into it, so if you see a problem, please let us know.
I just think it's gonna put pressure on the commissioners.
Yeah, I can see with that 50 number would put pressure on them. I mean, I could see that, because like I said, it is a huge, like Amanda said, it is a huge increase in it.
Yeah.
So where maybe if it kept it at 40 at the chair and, the board chair might be a better one, and then 2 years later revisit going up a little bit higher. Or whenever this meets again, to get it up there. Because you have to be at it again, you guys could get to that number that you want. Because like you said, it is a huge increase.
Yeah, we could throttle it back by 5,000 across the board for the first year to 30, 35, and 40. Second year, 35, 40, 45, so you never get to 50.
Them they might be more better if you don't ever hit 50, they might be a little bit. That might be easier if they don't ever hear 50, just in their eyes, I think that's what. I think that might be easier just because I think 50 just scares a lot of people.
So what was the second year that you were?
The second year would be 35, 40, and 45.
But yeah, I think Chandler $5,000 off each year, I think will just bring it down. Cause hitting that 50 mark, I think is the one that just, it's gonna put a lot of pressure on them. Even in 2 years, I think it's just a lot of pressure.
So look at this, so, sorry. Right now, the board chair is getting paid 27,000. Under that, it would bump up $13,000 last year, which would,
Just,
they're getting paid $6,000.
Which is the one we're working on.
Oh,
that,
This one.
yes.
Um,
That's what I've been looking at, that one.
This shows board chair at 28,800.
oh. Really off.
This is the one, yeah, that was the one that I got updated.
Okay. Oh, glad I did.
You've got one that says 28.8.
Yeah,
I think
That's the one that was in the old.
and was, there's another one that says 27,127. I thought we were working off the 28,800.
No,
No, what's in the binder is the correct amount.
In this binder.
No,
No,
this one, that was the original.
27,127.
yes, 27,127 is the number you should be keying.
So that's a large increase.
This is the,
Yes,
thank you.
I think
I guess we
everybody's
should
got
be
it.
using similar stats.
Yeah,
it's about 20 grand in 2 years, so maybe it's going up from 27 to 45. So that's. The board chair, I mean,
I mean, we could even throttle it back more. Go 25, 30 to 35 the first year.
I wouldn't be in favor of throttling it back any further.
yeah, but not hitting 50, I think is the key. To. Is the key, I think, is,
So I was looking at the wrong numbers, where 27,320 was the conditioner base. I think that's pretty close to 30, so going to 35 is not that huge, but if it's 20,000. That's a total different deal.
So I'm taking down notes here and I just want to make sure where we're
The
at.
the motion on the table is 35 in 2027, 40,000 for vice chair, 45,000 for chair.
Yep.
2028, 40,000 for board member, 45 for vice chair, and 50,000 for chair.
Got that.
that's the amended,
Oh, see.
Okay,
that's the amended motion.
Yeah.
I can do that.
they were talking about rolling down 5,000
Yeah.
overall, just because of the 50 mark, because of.
The highest would be 35.
High figure, yeah, because of the board overall here at 50. Like you said, try to get it approved, and
That's still that's still.
it's not across the board, like overall, it's like.
If 50 scares us, then
Or scares them, or the same, just, pick at them,
I would propose that the only number we change is the 2028 chairman's number and knock that to $49,000.
That's
It
using
is,
our numbers. That's, I mean, that's not quite a 50% increase. But it is that's a significant increase.
yes,
When we had Josh Ruger here, I don't think he was asking for that much of an increase as board chair.
But if you look at his responsibilities and what he does, I do think it's a deserving number.
Oh, yes, agreed. Agreed, but it's trying to get everybody to approve it, it's not hard.
well, everybody doesn't have to approve it.
Correct, you have to get enough, it's in the promise to get enough to approve it, I know, that's the thing. They need how many to approve it?
The board, they'd have to have a majority, I think.
Majority,
Well,
Well, the board
doesn't
does
have,
not.
doesn't have to say anything.
that's true.
Unless they
Jacked. Right, right.
Historically, it's come to them as a resolution that they're allowed to accept, but ultimately they have to reject it, yes, in whole or in part.
Okay. Let me offer another. I was looking at the 27,000 for commissioner, now I'm seeing 20,800 being the correct number. So what about, 25 for commissioners, 30 for vice chair, 35 for chair. And then up at another 5 the second year, but give them COLA, same as other employees, so we'll get an adjustment as time goes on. Of 3% or whatever. come
Are
up
we
with.
sure that they get COLA? Because I thought that was what we changed the last time. that they got a certain percentage, like I think it was the 6 and, or was it 8 and then 6?
We didn't change anything for the board of commissioners. That was all done too late.
Right,
And historically, I've gone back and confirmed that COLA adjustments have been made for the other board.
they do.
Yes,
Okay.
Seems a little weird to single them out for not getting it, the
Right.
more I think about it.
So
We singled them out for health insurance.
It was done through this group though.
Okay.
But we don't have a say in health insurance.
Correct.
We can't weigh in on health insurance.
Madam Chair, I'm just going to double check, so. Commissioner France, you indicated for year one, 25 for the board, 30 for the vice chair, 35 for the chair. Year two, 30 for the board, 35 for the vice chair, 40 for the chair. Is that correct?
With cost of living.
With-
adjustments too.
With COLA? Okay,
But so my question about that would be. Does COLA come into play in that first year? Because we're saying it doesn't, but what I'm also hearing is that everybody gets a cost of living adjustment. Would we have the?
We're talking about base salary here.
Yeah.
Which is unique. Usually they just look at COLA. But you're right, in the first year, it would be adjusted by 3% possibly. So instead of 25, it might be 26 or something.
So
I also look at this and I look at Kalamazoo County and we're very close in census. And their commissioner is 34, their vice chair is 35, and their board chair is 36.
Cool.
That's a good point.
So.
Making the commissioner.
All right.
Kalamazoo County,
There's 35 across the board, basically.
Kent County's board chair is over 50 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we should be,
I would kind of
Well-
like to hone in on those two counties, because I think,
but remember, Kent County is twice as big as we are.
right,
Kalamazoo County is, we're 7th, and Kalamazoo County is 9th. We're actually closer to Washington County in size. And
we're
they're,
pretty close, I mean, 30,000 people difference, and
Between Kalamazoo and us.
yeah,
There was a time that Kalamazoo was bigger.
well, actually.
We passed them up. Remember that?
Yeah, we're bigger than Kalamazoo,
yeah,
yeah,
about 30, 35.
So with those numbers from Kalamazoo, I'm more comfortable
yeah,
with the idea of a 3-step. Maybe starting at 35.
me too. I would second that if we're,
Well, I mean 25. I mean 25,
25, okay.
first year with COLA. 25, 30 and 35 first year.
Well, what's on the table right now is 35.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
you have to,
we'd have to amend the
Amend.
amendment.
you have to amend it.
and I would not be in favor of amending it. I'm comfortable with that first step being 35.
Well, then we need to vote on it then.
Yeah, why don't we call the question?
Okay, so we are now voting on the amendment to Ron's first
We have-
question.
I think we have to vote to end the discussion.
Call the question, I don't think you have to, I don't think there's
You
a,
have to vote on the call question.
yeah,
you do? Okay,
A vote on the call question.
but if we could just make sure that it's completely clear for the record. There was an amendment being discussed when you called the question. I just want to make sure we understand what question is being called.
The,
the
It would be the
amendment.
original motion as amended by him.
Yeah,
right, so the motion as amended by me would, or as amended by Ron.
Yeah.
Is in 2027, the board members get $35,000, the vice chair gets $40,000. And the chair gets $45,000. In 2028, the board gets $40,000, the vice chair gets $45,000, and the chair gets $50,000.
okay, so we're voting on that amendment to the original motion. And we have to have a vote to close or call the question. So,
Are you asking if you need a vote to call the question? Okay.
that's what I'm assuming.
I move to call the question.
Oh,
Okay. So do we have a second to that?
I don't think you need a second on that one, but
You don't need a second
Okay,
question.
did you not make that though?
You have to.
Fred can have it.
So, okay, so we're voting on calling the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
I'm opposed to my own amendment, but I'm just not, I for being opposed.
Okay,
Should we do a roll call? Can we do that? Or,
Yeah, I was
Okay.
jotting down your name.
Okay.
Well, so that was just to end discussion.
Okay.
You said,
got it.
so.
Oh, that was not on the merits of it.
No,
Correct.
no,
Okay.
Just whether you want to stop talking about.
So does that change your understanding of what you want to vote on?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're voting yes to end the discussion?
Yes, we need a discussion.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, now we're gonna vote on the amendment to the original motion, which is, as Lynn described, first year 35, 40, 45, second year 45, 40, 45, 50. All those in favor of that motion? Oh, roll call, yeah. Roll call.
All right. Yes. All right, Mr. Broward,
Nay.
Mr. France,
No,
Mr. Jansen,
yes.
Ms. Loreth,
Yes.
Mr. Dunlap,
Yes,
Mr. Slower,
No.
Chair Price.
No. So that amendment does not.
Yeah.
Stand, so we're back to Ron's original motion. Now, with your motion still on the floor. That was.
no, I thought
That was-
that
that
accepted the
Lynn.
amendment.
And now the floor is clear.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, well, it's clear now.
Start fresh.
We start fresh. After
right, his amendment was accepted by the maker of the motion. So the vote was for both together. We turned it down, so now the coast is clear.
Yes.
Well, I'll make a new motion then. That we do, look at this again. Make sure I get this right. 25, 30, and 35 in year one. 30, 35, and 40 in year two with COLA. Being applied.
In both years?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? I'll have to say, I'm much more comfortable with this because to go from the 20,884 for the commissioners to 25. And then 30.
But chair is 30 and chair would be 35.
Yep, and it's 27 to 35. And recognizing, yeah, that feels more, I don't have as much anxiety about that. Because I just think 50% increase is a lot. So. Any other thoughts?
I agree that it does seem more reasonable. I still think that we're far from where I think we want to be, if we want it to be similar to Kalamazoo and Kent. I think starting at just an increase of 25 for the county commissioner is still significantly lower than those other two counties in comparison.
Would we be,
Well, part of our discussion is the palatability
I know.
of this to the board. Because
Right.
concern.
Right.
So right now it's far more palatable than if you guys want to make it current better in 2 years.
Oh, I see what you're
Say
saying.
that again?
It would be far more palatable to do it now than if you want to make an adjustment like this 2 years from now. In an election year.
Oh, so you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another way to put that is, in 2 years, where would we want them to be? Because likely they would not want to increase their pay in 2 years.
It
because
would
it's
be,
an election.
it'd be a done deal by then.
Yeah, but then we'd be voting in this body
Mhm.
for the next 2 years.
Right. I like the second year. I would like to see the second year numbers be the first year numbers and then build off of that.
So we're kind of back to. So you're saying 30,
30, 35, and 40
Mhm,
be the starter.
right,
but that's about a 30% increase for the county commissioners, if my math's not always great, so.
And where would your idea leave us in the second year?
so if we started with. The first year being 30, 35, 40, then the next year would be 35, 40, 45,
Okay.
and that is with COLA.
Can I ask a question back to, Ron made a motion with these first numbers, did we have a second on that?
You do.
Oh, there's all, okay, thank you, just want to make sure. So. Thinking about,
Where do you at? Lynn?
Well, Angela's numbers are kind of splitting the difference between yours and mine. I think it's pretty reasonable. That's not getting done exactly what I'd like to get done, but
It's just off the, like I said, it's off the 50 number, so it keeps it at 50. To me, it's just like I said, it's that eye-popping number for the board.
Right,
And the media will see it and they'll just flash it everywhere. We don't want the coverage and everything too, so it's.
Well, one thing to remember about like Kent County, for example, being Kalamazoo too, is there are no adjustments to the base salary being proposed for the next 2 years. It's all COLA only. So we're gonna be catching up over a 2 year period to both Kalamazoo and Kalamazoo.
Which is good.
well, we won't catch up to Ken.
Not-
Well, we should. Probably
sure, we
should.
should share this.
No.
Twice as big as we are.
Mhm.
But getting close to Washington, Kalamazoo is ideal.
I mean, Kalamazoo's, will be paid the vice chair, the chair, or the commissioners, I think it's ridiculous.
I know, they're all within a. Yeah. Yeah, Angela's got a, like I said, before, good idea, keep it off the 50 mark and it's.
If we went with Angela's number, I would support it.
The first year being 30, 35, 40.
Yep.
plus COLA, the second year being,
Thanks, Megan.
what would it be, 30?
35, 40, 45.
So you just go up 5 more for the second year.
With the COLA.
If you look at 3% of those numbers, it's not a dynamic
Huge.
difference.
Yeah. Huge jump.
But what did we just turn down?
50.
Something close to that was.
It was 40, 30, it was started at 35, 40, 45, 40, 45, 50.
Yeah,
30, 35, 40, and
we're just backing it down.
40, 45, and 50.
Yeah.
So, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
If there is a motion to amend the motion on the floor, I'll just ask that it be clearly stated slowly so
Okay.
that we get this correct.
Do you want me to do that?
I am not encouraging you to. I'm simply asking.
Yeah.
I just want 20 minutes.
So
Okay,
Okay, so I will ask to amend the motion. For the numbers of first year. The county commissioner being 30, the vice chair 35, and the board chair 40.
plus COLA.
Plus COLA.
Okay.
The second year. the county commissioner being 35, vice chair being 40, and board chair being 45 with COLA.
I would second that amendment.
Okay, any discussion on this amendment?
So theoretically, where are we at? Voting on the amendment?
I think we have to vote on the amendment
Okay,
before.
well, amend my motion for.
Correct. That's correct.
So we basically, your motion was to start out at 25, 30, 35 plus COLA. 30, 35, 40 plus COLA. This starts out at 30.
So it's just $5,000 higher. Reached the 2 years.
And Madam Chair, I'll respectfully ask that you do this via roll call, just so that we're clear.
Okay,
So we have to have 2 votes, one to accept
Kinda, yeah.
amendment and then one to, on the merits of it.
Yes, you have
If
a
it's,
motion.
if
to
it's
amend.
accepted.
I guess you could theoretically, should you choose to, accept the friendly amendment. We could avoid one of these votes.
So why don't we do
Okay.
okay.
that? Get right to the merits.
Okay. So Madam Chair, the way that we're noting this is that we have a motion on the floor to move to the 30, 35, 40, and then 35, 40, 45.
Plus COLA and each year.
Yes, ma'am.
Does COLA need to be stated? If that's just automatically the practice of the county?
I invite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
State everything. All
right,
Hey, Regina.
sure. Happy to. Mr. Brower,
Yay.
Mr. France,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
Ms. Lareth,
Yes.
Mr. Dunlap,
Yes.
Mr. Slower,
Yes.
Chair Price.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Travis. Okay. So we've got A, B, and C done. Prosecutor.
I would like to make a motion to increase the prosecutor's pay by 4.5%.
Let me ask you this, do we have a second to that?
Well, for discussion purposes also.
Okay. So we'll discuss it. Do you have thoughts that we're going to do that for the rest of the county wards? Or,
That's probably where my head is going. I came in here thinking 4%. Because the last commission had been very, very generous with those positions, getting them well above their deputies. I came in 4% and then was told that Kent County would just very generously went to 4.5%, and I don't want to be outdone by Kent County.
okay. And so that's a 4.5% increase.
That would bring them up to 203. 223.
Which is,
So then are you thinking of that same percentage being applied to other elected officials as well?
Yes.
What do you think of, my idea of making the clerk 150 and the water resources and treasurer 140?
So that's a lot more than 4%.
Right.
For him,
For
well.
those two, yeah.
for-
I don't
for
know
the-
that I would agree with.
Okay.
I would for the clerk. I would agree with the
Right,
clerk.
yeah, someone pointed out, you pointed out, I
Yeah.
think that, probably he ought to be pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
In the case of, the treasurer, for example, that's a very modest increase.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like $2,000. For the water resources commissioner, it's 13,000. This is not the issue. I'm just throwing it out.
Yeah.
You're going.
With the clerk, I would probably entertain a little more
Mhm.
personally. But, yeah, we can
Okay,
get to that shortly, I think.
yeah, I just wanna keep our I wanna just keep our discussion kind of. So that I can go two ways. We can keep it focused on the prosecutor, or we can have this wide ranging discussion about it all and then come back and. Talk about that.
What about with the prosecutor and the sheriff? Do they work pretty much hand in hand together? Should they be? Well, I was thinking they should be closer in pay. See, he added in the cameras this year. He overset the cameras this year too, which is another duty under him, and in my opinion, isn't. I was thinking about that too. He's got more, I know he does have the undersheriff, he has a little bit more duties. And the pay discrepancy is actually quite large in this county, not as other ones, but when compared to Kalamazoo and Kent, those are a lot closer in the two prosecutor and the sheriff, they're a lot closer in pay between those two, when they go hand in hand between besides Ottawa.
The only elected official that has any kind of educational requirement or anything is the prosecutor. They have to be an attorney.
Right.
The sheriff does not have to be a
True.
law enforcement. Or,
Oh, I knew that, that's what he said too, yeah, you don't have to
so
be.
there's a differentiation point there for me. I don't know what the value of that is, but the sheriff's department is the largest department in the county. But so.
Remember that he does. It's 20, he has a lot of different jurisdictions he's oversees, he has a lot of schools and stuff like that too, I know he does a lot of stuff.
I got a trick question for you. So who do you think by statute is the chief law enforcement officer of the county? There we go.
The prosecutor, there you go. Oh, I knew that one.
They go on Sundays.
Yes, they do mow on Sundays, which is actually not very wise around here.
Madam
But I'll
Chair.
learn that.
Yes,
Just as a point of clarification, so you have a motion right now. That motion does not specify year two. So before you vote, just make sure that's addressed.
I intended it to, and if my second still stands, it would be a 4.5% raise in each of the next 2 years.
okay, plus COLA.
Each year, or yeah,
That's sort of accounting for COLA in my mind.
Oh,
Well,
Okay.
that raises the question, if we want across the board COLA at 4.5% or not, or if we're gonna have different COLA levels. Which would be very awkward, I think.
Well, our county just gave our unions a 3%. I think that 3% COLA raise.
Right.
so this in effect would be a 1.5% increase plus the COLA? Or,
Yes. Yes, we're being more generous. Well, this is more generous than our county.
What are you trying to apply COLA or are you trying to raise the base salary? Then COLA would be on top of it.
I am trying to apply COLA plus a small increase, a little better than cost of living.
so, for instance, get my handy calculator out here, don't go by me though.
I hope YouTube doesn't play when you.
No,
It was a legal channel if I was listening to around here.
I guess I'm still a bit confused. So the 4.5% would be on the base salary. And then there'd be COLA on top of that.
No, he's
That
thinking
is not my
1.5% on top of COLA is what he's doing. COLA's 3%, he's adding 1.5 on top of that to get it to 4.5.
Okay, but again, that raises the question of whether the COLA should be the same for everyone. Are you thinking 4.5 for every?
I
elected
don't think
official?
that it should be, I think it should be higher for the clerk.
I think he's doing it specific to each.
I think I would probably make a motion that will be similar for water resources, treasurer, and sheriff, and I think the clerk should be addressed separately.
okay, so, for instance, Sarah's salary right now is 194,472. You're suggesting that her salary go up by 1.5%. and she has a 3% COLA.
Correct.
So the 203, they calculated, that was the full 5%, the whole.
So, and part of this is over the last 2 years, each of the countywide positions has had a 14.5% raise. We were rather extravagant in the last officer's compensation. With those countywide positions.
But Lynn, correct me, as I remember, your motion was for straight 4.5%. So we gotta deal with that motion and reject that first, then go to this 3 plus 1.5.
Well,
I think either would be a fine way of doing it.
Well, but
but one would be increasing her salary by 4.5%.
plus COLA, the way
Right,
that he
yes.
originally stated it.
Right.
Okay,
See what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So it's, yeah,
maybe we'll consider that a friendly amendment.
His original motion was to increase the pay by 4.5%. That left COLA in place, which would have been actually, 8%.
yeah, but some of it.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, I'll withdraw that.
We want, okay.
So you're assuming a 3% COLA on top of the 4.5.
Well,
That's what his first one was.
It might have done that.
The way
That was
he-
not my
The
intent.
way he presented it was,
Yeah, now we're talking 1.5 COLA for that position or something.
No, no, the COLA stays the same, he just wants to reduce the pay from what he originally. Proffered was 4.5 to 1.5
Plus the 3%.
plus the 3% COLA, which was really a moot point because that's gonna stay in place anyway.
yes,
So he's just basically saying, instead of 4.5%, he wants 1.5%, but we gotta either vote down the 4.5%, or he has to remove the motion.
He's-
I withdraw that.
Okay,
It's withdrawn.
Craig, do you want to make a new motion?
no, go ahead and make your motion the way that you want.
Stop here though, because I've not had experience with a withdrawn motion. If the motion's withdrawn, then we're back. There's no motion.
Then we need a new motion.
One thing I would suggest, if. How you treat COLA for each position ought to be the same. Right, so on the commissioners, you went an increase plus whatever COLA they get. I would suggest you're gonna really put pressure on the commissioners' pay if it looks different. And you start breaking it up for the elected, the others,
Yeah.
so you're better off doing the same thing with every position.
That's right. Just leave COLA alone.
just do a percent plus COLA,
So we're
Plus
all kind
COLA,
of thinking 3%, is that,
yeah,
since the union sells 3%.
whatever, yeah, so just do percent.
In both
plus
years.
So all elected officials get a cost of living increase of 3% for the next 2 years. That was what was in this packet, correct?
So what was in the packet is the union, under their current agreement, saw an increase of 3.0%.
Okay.
What we have baked into the draft budget is an assumption of anywhere between 2.75 and 3%. However, that is subject to final approval by the board, which has not yet happened. I just want to make very clear for the
Yeah.
record
Yeah.
that that COLA amount
Is
could
not-
change.
right.
Correct.
So
So you
now
wanna-
then we need a new motion from you.
But, I'm just gonna. I want to circle back to this point though, are we assuming that everybody's gonna get a 3% COLA? That something.
If it's the intent of this board to do that, that's absolutely fine, but we do want some clarifying language
Mhm.
just to ensure that there is no confusion from human resources, from fiscal services, et cetera.
Right.
Joe, can you confirm? It doesn't have to be the same as the employee's COLA. It can be a separate amount, yes?
You could do it separately, you could just say, this includes COLA, no COLA for the commissioners. No COLA for the electeds, we're setting their salary, that's it.
Okay.
Or you could set a salary and say, whatever the unclassifieds get, the unclassified. People in your purview get,
Okay.
and then you set their wage, you can go either way. But whatever you do, I think you should be consistent with it.
Mhm.
Is there merit to not finalizing anything until after the next board meeting, so we know what they're gonna do with base utility and so on?
So there is some value, however, we respect the fact that you all are volunteering your time. If you are at a point where you are willing to come back for your final meeting, which is a week from this Wednesday, more than likely you will know if the Baker Tilly study has been completed. So if there is a desire to pause and come back, we will be ready. We will be here to assist you. You will likely have that Baker Tilly question answered. But we also respect the fact that you all are volunteers, and if you want to just continue working and getting it done, we will assist in making that happen.
So Ron, I don't see anything in the proposed Baker Tilly numbers that would dynamically change my position on what I'm proposing. But even if these numbers are the ones we're working with, you know, there is not significant upward pressure from the chief deputies in any.
The current chief deputy in the prosecutor's office is not all that close to the prosecutor's salary, that's true.
Yeah.
And the net effect of what you're talking about would pretty much make the differential between the maximum salary and the elected's salary 10%. Each was kind of another artificial goal, but I kind of had in my mind.
I guess I'm kind of thinking if we're trying to stay consistent with what we've already decided for the commissioners, which was we increased their salary and included cost of living. I think going forward for these positions, we should do the same.
Okay.
I think we should come up with a number that we want to increase their salary to and include the cost of living.
Rather
Does
than a
that make sense?
percentage,
Yes.
okay?
Well, what was the impact of 1.5%? $500 or something.
Right, right.
So that's still short.
$2,917.08. 1.5%. I'm doing it on a computer because don't trust me.
So that's about 97, a little over 197. Well, they make a lot more money than I did when I was. Yes.
You can always run again.
Oh, enough. 43 years is enough.
Commissioner, I was sitting at a softball game with a probably retired county administrator, and he said the exact same thing to me.
So my new motion.
Want a moment before. I just want to make sure. What's the dollar?
Doesn't make a difference to me. Is anybody interested in one more meeting to get this additional information, or do you think we can go forward?
We can go forward.
I like to go forward instead of have to come back again.
Yeah. We have enough. I mean, it should go pretty quickly as last.
Yeah, I mean, we can get there. I'm just.
Oh, yeah, I mean-
Somebody's thinking we really gotta know if the board's gonna adopt
No.
Baker Tilly or.
I don't think Baker Tilly study will change anything. It just changes those top numbers, which doesn't really affect a lot of them out there.
My suspicion, since the committee already approved it, is open.
Yes.
Probably pretty much in the form that it exists, so I think that's true.
When I just wanted to delay it a month so they can look at it a little longer, or somebody might have had a.
Oh,
Coach number from cheer.
I see.
So, okay, so according to my computer, thank goodness. I bring my calculator,
The
but
next one,
so Sarah's current salary, prosecutor's current salary is 194,472 with a 1.5% increase of 2917. 389. 291708, so we've got 197,389.08. So that's the base salary increase.
So. My motion would then be. To increase the prosecutor's pay. By. $2,917.08.
Oh,
Can you restate?
Yes. My motion is to increase in 2027. The prosecutor's base pay by $2,917.08. Plus the cost of living increase that the county employees will be getting.
And that number will be adopted by the board soon, so
In the budget process.
It'll be in the budget process and
it's coming summer.
yeah, and the COLA, just for the group, that number can adjust on a year-to-year basis. So if he tie bars it to non-union staff, that gives you the flexibility to achieve the COLA.
That's interesting. We've never done that before, have we? We've always set the COLA in absolute terms for both years. If we let it kind of drift and high bar it to something else, that would be a little different than. what it-
And I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying that if it is your intent to have the COLA be fluid on year one versus year two, that is a way that you could accomplish it.
I will say, I think I remember at one time, probably during COVID, that we maybe got an additional COLA increase. Am I remembering that wrong? I thought there was a time where,
I think there was some single, some payments that were made to county employees, weren't they, like 1,000 or a couple times, something like that. Because we're going through that 9% inflation and I think
yeah,
the board generously gave money, but it didn't really change base salaries. I don't think it was just a one-time payment.
I think that's true.
So, Madam Chair, just to clarify, we've got a motion for $2,917 plus COLA.
Plus COLA.
Okay.
In 2027.
COLA in 2027, and we're okay, because we don't know what COLA will be, 2.75 or 3.
So we have a non-specific COLA, just whatever COLA turns out to be correct.
As determined by budget process, or I don't even have.
I think if you were to tie bar it to the non-union staff, or you could just tie bar it to the board's final budget document.
You have a preference, Lynn? Non-union staff?
Non-union staff would be about right.
So that's different than unclassified or,
Yeah, so the unclassified, that's what I'm making reference to.
okay, that's, if I was gonna tie bar to something, that would be what I would pick.
Okay. As it determined by not unclassified staff. COLA.
So then, again, Lynn, you're thinking of doing that in the second year as well.
I have, yes,
So whatever the
In each
unclassified
of-
percent was.
in each of the next 2 years.
Okay. So. First year, 194,472 plus 2917.08 to go to 1,97389.08. And then that's year one. And then year two, have you done that calculation? Another 1.5% on that.
So it's a funny calculation to have to do without, no, we'd have to assume 3% COLA,
The COLA into the base pay.
You were thinking of doing the 1.5% in both years, were you?
I was.
Oh, you were? Oh.
Yeah, because he wants to mirror Kent County. Well, that's what they gave their countywide electeds.
So why don't you do the same thing you did with the commissioners, right? You got a base 1 year and then a base in the second year and let COLA ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so maybe just,
Find a base you like in year two, and just,
yeah,
Yeah.
but that is your base that you want her to have.
maybe instead of having like all those funky numbers, we just do,
Even
Some-
the
yeah.
3,000.
you know, like 196 in year one and 198 in year two, plus COLA. I don't know, just.
Oh,
Let's do the same amount in year two. But nice and easy.
about 198 in year one and a nice even 200 in year two.
So you're gonna withdraw the motion for the.
Well-
Second.
We don't have a second on that, so you can.
Would you rather do the percentage or have an exact figure?
I'd rather do the percentage, I think. I think it's just, it's, if we do it 4.5, more or less across the board, we're matching Kent County. And with 3%. Understanding that the board is going to budget. The cost of living increase. On their own. A 1.5% raise for each year. Yeah. Of 4 of the 5 countywide positions makes sense to me.
Okay,
So. Wanted the 197, 389.08 times another 1.5%.
Yeah.
What should we say?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't give an exact number, you don't know what COLA's gonna be.
Exactly.
Here.
No, so
Right.
just doing the
right,
base.
yep.
I think that did not, I think that was COLA for Kent, 4.5 period, no, no COLA, like that is
That is COLA, right?
for them, for
For
the
them,
commissioner.
it's at 4.5.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, our COLA could end up being 4% or something, depending on
Well,
what the
yeah,
board thinks.
especially with gas prices this year and the inflation, it could go up.
It could be
Right.
Yeah,
substantial.
so there's,
So. What Kent County just did. Kent County doesn't think about COLA at all. They just did a 4.5% raise in 2027 and 2028 for. Each of their countywide positions.
Well, that's arguably COLA,
Yes.
Right,
Yes,
kind of hidden in. More,
I think it, I shouldn't say this out loud, but 3% to me, given the gas prices we're facing right now.
seems awful.
Is more reasonable as a COLA, but
I tend to agree with you. Okay, let me withdraw my motion and make a new motion. To. My language is going to exclude COLA. I'm just gonna make it clear, a clear motion that the prosecutor get a 4.5% raise. In 2027 and a 4.5% raise in 2028. Anybody want to second that?
so we'd be excluding her from COLA. Unlike,
He's
we
not.
tried to
We
avoid
would be
that.
not addressing it.
Well,
Oh,
Why-
that's
why-
gonna give her like 7%, 7.5.
no, he's not including COLA at all.
No.
so this would be a position that is a non-COLA position.
In his mind, in his terminology, he's just saying 4.5%, that's all he's saying, so he's just.
I
You can take
personally
it,
like the other way better, to be honest, then we have a
It,
uniform COLA.
it kind of accomplished what we wanted to accomplish, but it's
yeah,
funky.
yeah,
Because we don't know how to do the second year.
I think we should try and do full numbers for the
Like
positions,
5 grand
like we
plus
just did for
COLA,
the
5 grand.
commissioners. I think that's what we do. Year one, they get a slight increase plus COLA. Second year, they get a slight increase plus COLA. I think if we're gonna be consistent with what we're doing, we've already set that one for the commissioners,
Okay,
We're talking about like 3,000
right?
the first year and maybe 3,500 in the second year, something like that,
Right,
plus COLA.
right, correct.
all right, since nobody seconded my.
try it again. So check me on, so the first year, so we're not, I'm sorry, we're moving on. Okay, go ahead.
I will now. I will now move that we set the prosecuting attorney's salary at $198,000 for 2027.
I'll second
COLA.
that.
plus COLA.
Let's go.
You seconded? Okay,
And
Oh, you're still not done.
second. in 2028. Um. 201,500.
Plus go.
Let's go.
What was the first number? 190?
198 even.
Okay,
That's one motion.
That's correct.
Not even
and you
good.
second?
And I seconded it before we finished it.
Say coffee.
And is that related to the 4.5? Did you figure that out?
We're scratch
Oh,
percentages.
okay.
Well, you're still keeping COLA, whatever that.
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
Just let me ask a personal question. Are you thinking along the lines of adjusting base salary for the other positions as well? By a finite amount like that? For example, I threw out the idea of 150 for the clerk.
Right.
I see the clerk position just a little bit different, so I'd be on board for 150 for the clerk. The motions that I would make would be similar in
structure.
structure for the other positions.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is, are we gonna be adjusting all base salaries at an amount we think is fair for everybody as opposed to?
I think so.
I think so.
I
That's
think
where we're going.
I think so, yes. But I think your two base salary has to go higher than 2.0, whatever you said.
2015.
Yeah, cause COLA's gonna put it at like almost 2.04 after year one. To do like 2.05 in year two.
See, that's,
Okay.
that's a danger, really, that's why I thought.
That's why you have to go.
Very dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Especially, well, if salary that high, COLA's gonna be pretty high. So,
Yeah, you're walking into it where.
but you're fine when you did the lower salary, cause it's not gonna be that high when you only did like that. Smaller one, but yeah, about high salary like that, you're gonna have to go really high though.
Yeah.
Higher, so you have to go like 2.04. You'd be fine about that, or 2.05.
See, that's the advantage of the
Percentage.
Percentage works perfectly.
Yeah.
Those darn King County folks.
Then you don't have to worry about it. You know, you're being consistent.
Do we maybe go forward and just say that we're gonna do a percentage increase for these, and that will include the percentage and the COLA? And then go back to the commissioners and take COLA away and just stick with the base salary?
So
Or
you,
can we do that or not?
you go
Okay.
back. You could definitely go back to do that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's gonna provide the clarity that you're looking for.
Okay,
If we're going to do, if we're not going across the board for every position, I don't think we are. I think it sounds like some people are interested in bumping the clerk register of deeds position. I don't, it's not as valuable to do everyone exactly the same. We're gonna make an exception there. We're looking at each of these positions independently.
okay, yeah,
Madam Chair,
Yes,
you have a motion and a second.
yes.
I don't think she does. I think I'm withdrawing that motion.
Yeah, cause the second one is already too low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
COLA, so,
Yeah,
Okay, I think we gotta go back to,
well, just for that high one, you're gonna have to switch and let's do percentage, like 4.5 plus COLA. If we're gonna do 4.5, it has to be plus, you know.
But you
Right.
want to mirror Kent County.
yes,
I'm just reminding you
so
that.
if you were if you're trying to mirror Kent County and you're trying to stick to their percentage, we could potentially say a 2%
Plus COLA.
increase plus COLA.
Then we're better than Kent County.
yeah, I don't wanna be all that better, much better, I pay taxes here.
Or you could do what they did and just do 4%, no COLA.
I think for the sake of clarity, I now move. To increase the prosecutor's pay by 4.5%. With no cost of living increase in 2027. And 4.5% with no cost of living increase in 2028.
Now we got two motions on the floor.
Well, he withdrew.
He withdrew it.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Okay.
So then you're pulling her out of COLA.
Yes,
Want to do that?
I think we're accounting for it.
That seems problematic to me, unless we're gonna do that for every elected official.
I think we probably will. I mean,
None of them will get COLA, they'll get the adjustments that were given in percentages.
correct.
Hmm.
And 2 years from now, if we've made a horrible move,
Then that's your job.
Nathan or Ron, our chair get to,
Running it.
get to fix it.
Thanks.
Twice.
This was good.
He needs a second.
I will second that.
So just giving you,
Get Ron saying COLA though, I think it's
I
like
think-
COLA.
In my mind, I think COLA ought to be uniform for everybody.
I know, like I said, yeah, I think it should be, yeah, across the board.
I like
this
the
4.5.
1.5% thing. Plus COLA.
1.5%. It'll be awarded 1.5% over COLA. Is that
No, at one point, your motion was, I think, 1.5% each year,
right?
and COLA as well, as COLA would apply. So the net effect was, 4.5%, it might be a little bit higher the second year.
I would be happy to withdraw this motion if you've got one that sounds better than mine.
Well, I guess it's a theoretical question, do we wanna have some people get COLA and some not get it, and my thinking is no. I think we
No, I
have
think-
COLA across the board.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree, everybody should get COLA. And some, whether it's in the percentage or, a bigger plus COLA, but they all should get COLA.
and
Well,
I,
I think we shouldn't guess what COLA might be.
No, I mean, like, it's somebody,
Right.
yeah, no, but it should be COLA across the board, no, yeah, it'd be blank plus COLA, like they get this bigger plus COLA, like every year,
So
so.
we were gonna tie it to the unclassified employees, COLA as established by the board during this
Yeah,
budget process.
whatever that, yeah.
I'm waiting for you to make a motion.
Well, no, I mean, I think you made this motion already.
I will happily withdraw the motion
Okay.
or the,
Well, your original motion, I think, was just that, 1.5%
yeah,
in each year plus COLA.
right,
Yeah, that was your original first
Yeah.
one,
okay,
cause it was 4.5%, yeah, that's what you wanted.
well, let's get
That
back
was-
to.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, it wasn't, yeah, they took some out of that.
Okay.
So
Problem is, they took some out of that.
we offer an
Sure,
adjustment.
please, please.
We
I'll
can turn
try.
on the warrant a couple of times.
Yeah, the
Any-
problem is,
It would be possible to consider just a certain amount, like a $5,000 increase plus COLA for 2027 and a X number dollar increase plus COLA for 2028, as opposed to trying to come up with a salary number plus COLA, which I know is getting confusing. You could feasibly give one time, I would say bonus, but one time salary increase for 1 year and another time
Instead of a percentage, do like an amount.
plus a COLA. if you
like
want to.
5% plus.
We're at that, we made that motion at one point, I think.
198.
I mean, all that.
You did 198.
And I got a question, why are we concerned about COLA anyway? Why does that even enter our thought?
If we don't say they get COLA, they don't get it. Right?
Oh, they don't get it at all?
No, we either say yes or
That's the
no
answer
to
to the
COLA.
question. I thought they automatically got it.
No,
No.
Okay,
you have-
sorry.
Yeah, you've got to state it if you want.
Okay,
it to be-
sorry.
No,
I
that's a
just
good
understood
question.
it the other way
Yeah,
around.
that's a good question, so, yeah, we have to tell them as a,
Okay,
not an implied thing,
so
so.
your second motion was to increase the salary by 1.5%, which was about $2,970. You could say to this point, whatever, you could say, we'll increase her salary by $3,000 the first year. Do what Mr. Regina was saying, and then the next year we figure out what her salary would be, 197,389 times 0.15 and round up or something.
Well, this 3,000 again.
The problem with that is that doesn't take into the health, the cost of living.
No, but I'm saying that's the base, what Regina was saying, have a base number, a base dollar amount
An increase.
of an increase, plus, and then, so that's the dollar amount. like $3,000. And then for the first year plus COLA. And then the next year we'd figure out what the 1.7, 1.5 on 197 is, and have that the base.
But what he's saying is you don't know
next
what the
phase, yeah.
COLA is.
That's why you just do,
Can't
that's what you do a
include it.
straight, done like your 4 grand, year one, 4 grand, year two plus COLA.
Yeah.
And it just negates that.
Or just stick to the percentage, which is that the motion that's out there right now?
There's,
Leave it through.
there's.
Okay, so there's no motion.
That's what's easier to do a flat dollar figure each year, because you don't worry about what the percentage is gonna be, what it's gonna add plus COLA, then you just do
Yeah.
5 grand plus COLA. Year one, year two. It's
So the flat amount in the second year will be.
Another flat amount.
another flat
Adjusted
amount.
by COLA or?
No, it's just a flat
Flat.
amount plus COLA, so you just do year one plus COLA, then year two. Flat amount plus COLA, then you're not worrying about what the percentage is gonna
Right,
be that year two, you're not worried about what that, yeah, I mean, so it's, they're trying to figure it out, you just. To me, it's need to do flat amounts each year plus the COLA, cause it's easier accounting. You're not trying to do all these,
So you wouldn't have the COLA compounded, so to speak, like we
Correct.
normally would have.
yeah, it's just.
Whoever calculates this next year, though, if they take the increase of the $2,000 or whatever plus the COLA, they might think that that's the salary. Well, it's really not if we're saying it's $2,000 now and $3,000 later or whatever. It could get confusing for them to determine what we really intend as what this person's salary is gonna be. There's kind of a quandary here. At least I'm seeing it being confusing for those that try to figure this out.
Mhm. Yeah, I really think the cleanest way to do it is just 4.5 year over year.
But then you're assuming COLA is a certain amount,
We are.
and that's a dangerous thing, I think.
Or just 4.5% plus COLA.
Well-
year one and 4.5% plus COLA.
If the Iran war is not in for another 6 months, we're gonna be at about 5% inflation probably.
But I'm basing that COLA number on what the county has already approved for our unionized employees.
But that was negotiated, what, in January or something?
Before,
So 3 years ago.
yeah,
Okay, so that's,
Wow.
its relevance is questionable.
Understood.
so. What if you did 3,000 first year plus COLA, 3,000 or 3,500 second year plus COLA? There you go, there's.
yeah.
Is there,
But is the new
I-
person's salary $2,000 more? Or is their salary actually 2,000 plus COLA and that's their new salary?
Yeah,
Which
that
is
would
it?
be their new
That's a
salary.
new salary.
Yeah,
So it would be, would add the COLA in on top of
goes
the.
into your base salary?
dollar.
Yeah.
Okay,
So base salary plus that 3 plus COLA.
and so then that's gonna be your starting salary for the next year, which you'll get the 3,000 added on plus
Yeah.
COLA.
Yeah.
That
That.
salary.
Somebody needs to make sure that whoever
Yeah,
figures
who
this out.
knows that?
Well, yeah, you can't add it to the base salary, you've gotta keep it out as in addition to whatever. COLA is on top of the first year's salary, otherwise you really screw it up. Like somebody was talking about 198 first year and 201.5.
Right,
That's problematic.
right,
Yeah.
you do that,
Right.
right.
Brian, you said the union. Contracts were negotiated in January. No,
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years.
When are they likely to be renegotiated?
So they'll start this fall.
Okay.
With the intent of having those ratified by the end of the calendar year.
And that will be done, every 3 years? Is it?
Yeah, so there's 9 unions, they're all on the same alignment. And interestingly, half of the unions, all of the unions were asked if they wanted to do a 1-year extension to receive the Baker Tilly adjustment now and continue their agreements for another year. Half of the union said, no, thanks, we would much rather proceed with negotiating this fall.
The reason I ask that is because for the purposes of negotiating with our unions, we think assuming 3% for 3 years is a reasonable assumption. Or we did 3 years ago anyway.
3 years ago.
If we set a COLA amount. the unions are gonna glom onto that if it's high and use it as a bargaining chip. That's no question about that. That kind of backs Brian into a little bit of a corner.
It does.
If we say, but if we don't indicate. Like 4.5%, for instance. But it doesn't indicate it's COLA. Would they glom onto that? I don't know.
But then we're in the same quandary of.
It depends if they want you to or not.
Right, which you are pretty sure you want for all of them, correct? You don't want
I
to.
personally do. I mean, I personally disagree, but you know, I like to be uniform in that at least.
Yeah. I prefer to have uniform COLA increases for all the electeds.
So if you did a dollar amount first year. And then in the second year, you do another dollar amount on top of. The first year plus COLA
Mhm.
salary, then I think you're being uniform, aren't you?
Mhm.
So I think,
Put dollars to it, what do you mean?
So,
Well-
for instance, Sarah's salary is 194,472.
So you give her a $3,000 increase in 2027
Yeah. Which
plus COLA,
yeah,
which brings her to her new salary. And then in 2028, she'll get an increase of $3,000 plus COLA.
right,
That will
but you
give her
don't,
her new salary for 2028.
you don't specify what the salary will be in the
Right.
second year. That's where the
Correct.
problem comes in.
Right.
Okay,
right, how do you put that into a motion? That motion.
Sure.
yeah,
Oh,
I got it.
okay.
Okay, but we gotta spell this out pretty well, because that's a hard one to.
I make a motion that we increase the prosecuting attorney's salary for 2027 to $3,000 plus $3,000 plus the COLA. And then in 2028, the same, $3,000 plus COLA.
that's tied to,
Or the unclassified.
It's tied to the unclassified employee.
Employees.
Yeah,
second,
Okay.
okay,
thank you.
is that clear enough?
That is clear.
Okay,
And for me, yeah.
I completely understand what's just said.
how's everybody feeling about that?
Good.
Okay.
This is
All
where
of our-
we do discussion, but we've done a lot of discussion.
Well, I think we're setting a template probably for the rest of,
Yeah.
rest of the elected.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah, I mean,
this isn't place of discussion. This is kind of covering the whole field, I think, to some degree.
Okay,
yeah,
Angela, is that what you intended for the commissioners too?
Madam
So you
Chair,
basically added 5,000. To the second year, whatever the COLA,
Oh, on top of the COLA,
yeah.
I don't think we talked about it.
I guess not, no. No, we kind of just wanted to bring their numbers up and as a whole.
Let's not at this point go backward.
Yeah, let's.
no, but that's what I was thinking though, but bringing numbers out plus the COLA, which is, it's like I said, we
Which
get
is what we're doing.
close to the 50, and the COLA will bring it even
Yeah.
closer, and we'll get to what he wanted, close to that 50 without the COLA. The
But-
COLA will bring it close up there, so it,
And we might have to amend our motion, because I don't think it did that. It set a solid base salary second year, regardless of.
the COLA will get it close, but it won't get quite there, but it'll get close to what Lynn wanted, that 50 up there, so it'll be close.
but I thought we did have to include COLA.
We did,
Yeah.
we did, so it'll get close.
We did, but we specified base salary.
What their
for the second
salary
year.
would be,
Yeah.
yes.
That was
Yes.
where the problem comes in.
Yeah.
We should have
So maybe
said, what,
we-
5,000
Right,
plus on top of the
Yep.
base salary.
okay. I guess we can go back and amend
We're
that.
gonna have to go back and clarify that.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying,
For
yeah.
now, let's.
Let's finish.
Yeah.
so any other discussion on this motion, which is to increase the prosecutor's salary by $3,000?
No, actually, yeah, but that's. I get what you're
First
saying.
year. Plus COLA, and in the second year. $3,000.
Well, you said 3,500 second year, didn't you?
I didn't.
No, she said
I
three.
3,000.
Both years.
Oh. True, weren't you?
I know. Sorry.
I like the chief
Tied
of
to,
prosecuting,
I do
authority here,
I gotta give it up.
mows on Sundays, you know. People
Unclassified employee COLA adjustment.
3,000 each year.
Okay. That's the motion. All those, I'm not hearing any more discussion now.
We do a roll.
Oh, roll call,
Do a roll
yes,
call?
yes.
I think it'd be good to be ordered.
Yeah. Give me a minute.
Sorry.
All right, then mess around here. Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
okay. Mr. Dunlop,
Yes,
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Ms. Laura.
Yes.
Mr. France,
Yes.
Mr. Slower,
Yes.
Chair Price.
Yes,
Motion passes.
Thank you.
okay. Now, we're on to the sheriff.
We just copied that for the sheriff.
I think those numbers are close enough that we can do the exact same thing.
What I'm saying, yeah, it's
3,000, 3,000.
motion that for,
Madam Chair,
Yes,
one quick point of clarification. If there is any intent to provide the same benefit to the sheriff, the treasurer, or water resources commissioner, a motion could be easily crafted to take care of all three of those positions.
Mhm.
If it is your intent, not to presume.
It
Yeah,
is a little bit bigger percentage for the treasurer and
I don't see why the treasurer and the sheriff, I mean, the treasurer was my point, yeah, get her up to like 140, sure. And the sheriff, same thing. I know we had different ideas for the clerk and drain commissioner, so at least two of those. I could see doing the same thing. In my opinion, not about the others, but
I would think it would only be mostly comparable if we did the sheriff. I think the other three are a little bit.
I agree with that. I think they're a little,
okay,
it would be a major adjustment.
Yeah.
To base on more and more of those.
well, yeah, I know the sheriff was, yeah, there, yeah.
I would move to increase the sheriff's salary by $3,000 plus COLA as tied to the employees.
That's fine.
Yes, unclassified employees. In 2027 and $3,000 plus COLA. In 2028.
I will second.
I do, yeah.
I do, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we'll do another roll call.
Great, all right. Mr. Jansen,
Yay.
Mr. Brower,
Yay.
Mr. Slower,
Yes.
Mr. Dunlop.
Changed it up.
yay,
Ms. Laura.
Yes.
I say that. Mr. France,
Yes,
Chair Price.
Yes.
Okay.
Being that we are kind of on a roll. I would move that we increase both the treasurer and drain commissioner salaries by $2,500 in 2027 plus COLA. Is tied to qualified, unqualified,
Unclassified.
unclassified employees.
We don't want common cloth.
What they,
2,500.
2,500 plus COLA.
Tell me, just give me a reasoning about the 2,500 versus the 3,000 that we've given.
It's just
Oh,
as a percentage of their salary, it's more than.
Oh,
I was thinking more like 2,000
for which
for
one?
each.
for both, yeah. Or maybe even 2,000 for treasurer and 1,500 for drain commissioner.
I'm a lot closer to that.
Yeah.
Deal. I withdraw and, or amend. Can I amend?
amend your motion.
Water.
Um,
I'm sorry, so 2,000 and 1,500?
What do you appreciate water?
Did anybody second that motion?
No.
No, so you can amend your motion.
Yeah,
For treasurer.
Ron and Angela.
I'm just looking at the math, it looks like you would actually have the Water Resources Commissioner slightly higher base salary, I don't think. I wanted to do that necessarily, but maybe equate them. That's what I was thinking, just set it at 140, that's pretty much what we're doing
For which one?
for both, Water Resources and Treasurer.
Ooh, you want them both to be at 140?
That's
So
what you're kind of doing with 1,500 too, you're getting pretty close to that,
Because
Water's at 127.
Yeah,
Yeah.
water's at 127.
plus 15,000. That's what you said?
1,500.
1,500.
1,500.
yeah. Nope. we'll go
I
ahead.
mean, I was gonna move, the range should be, it should be higher than Ingham, or it should be close to Ingham, yeah. That's just me, I mean, he does do a lot, I also have a lot of issues with mine.
That is
Well, I'm back
true.
there.
I guess if we're looking at the other counties.
I look at it that way, I mean, he does do a lot, and he does take care of a lot, and I have a lot. I mean,
We have probably more drains than in County.
we do, I mean, and in Ottawa County, we do have a ton of drains, especially where I live in Hudsonville, there's a crap ton of drains, and we had to deal with a huge issue with my neighborhood, we also have a lot of idiots in my neighborhood, take it off the record. But, no, just kidding. There's a big lot, I mean, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff he deals with that we don't see behind the scenes with just a ton of stuff. So I appreciate it in that aspect, dealt with it firsthand through my HOA. Which is a whole other aspect of things he deals with too, we don't see. It's my office opinion, but I was gonna try to, I thought, with, 10 grand the first year and then like. A little bit flat, a lot less the second year, just get up there. But
10 grand for the Drain Commission.
yes, they try to get him closer. To do that step, to get him closer above people, the
How
one,
much for the treasurer then?
oh, a lower amount for her, I mean, like. 2, like Angela said, for like the first year.
To 140 is $2,085.
Yeah, I was gonna say her up to like 140 was my,
And
Idea.
Drain to maybe 137, something like that, is that what you're thinking? Or-
ideally, the drain commissioner, about like, yeah, 130 something, close to the Ingham, so like 138 in 2 years maybe, roughly. Over the course of 2 years, maybe it would be 6 and 6 maybe for him.
Seven.
Well,
That
that would 2 years, oh,
Maybe, well, 6 1 year, 6 2, I mean, I was thinking maybe, because I do one big. Something like that, but I mean, he does do a lot, but I was looking at the. Overall, I mean, he gets close to Kalamazoo. I don't know how many drains they do, know what their water stuff is down there, but I'm just trying to think of the size of the impact and stuff too.
so
But,
So, well, let's talk about treasurer.
but yeah,
If we go 2,085, that gets her to 140
then
for
another
the first year.
2,000 the next year, but she doesn't.
You want to get her to 140 or do you want to just 2,000? Which was, we've been doing that for the other two.
2000 first year, 2000 second year for treasurer.
That seems totally reasonable to me.
you're thinking 5 and 5 for the Drain Commissioner?
I was doing 6 and 6,
6 and 7.
12, and something like 138, 937, so he's
No,
just above Kalamazoo.
5,500, I think would be half of 1 year and half the other.
To make a motion?
How about 10 and 2? 10 the first year and 2 the second
Sure, I mean, we can do that too, but
for the Drain Commissioner.
yeah, so yeah,
Okay,
Well,
so
why so generous?
the first year, or is it
I
general?
mean,
I mean, I don't want to discuss with Doug again, but I'm thinking that some pretty knowledgeable people had thought that he paid too little. That's one of the reasons that
he's significantly over the average for that position.
That's what I struggle with too. I'm looking at these other
I
counties.
don't think those counties deal with as many drains and other stuff as we do. And with, I mean, with any water, whatever, I don't know all the terminology and stuff, but since we're growing, he deals with a lot of soil erosion and other issues as well too. Cause he deals with all that stuff, so any new houses that are built, he has to do all that, so all the new builds in there, he does all the permits, all that kind of stuff too. And we're plopping up houses like mad around my area, and there's stuff like that too, so he does all that stuff, I don't think places are growing as fast too, so I mean, it's. All the little areas, if you look at little presentation and stuff like I did, I mean, there's stuff there, but I mean, I don't think, you know,
I mean,
St. Clair County, which is way on the east side, is not growing as at all. I think they're actually downsizing. You know, Saginaw, same thing there, Muskegon, they're not really doing much. I mean, same concept.
remember that we've also, in the last 2 years. Given him a 14.5% increase.
Well, because he was vastly underpaid though, too. I mean, you saw those numbers too. I mean, he was down to. No, I know, I know, but I mean,
He would, if we, right now his salary is the fifth in that line of 11.
It's the drain commissioner was one.
yeah,
Well-
You know, he's the same guy that got the $12,000 from the insurance company, too.
Mhm.
yeah, the insurance authority, the one time this last year.
So let's,
Treasurer got the 8 too, or whatever.
let's
yeah.
take care of the treasurer, motion first. I don't know if we have a motion.
You would not.
We do not have a motion, but we have discussion about in 27 increasing her pay by 2,000. Plus COLA, 28 increasing her pay by 2,000 plus COLA.
Yep.
Get that motion.
Well, I need a motion. I don't know if that's
Motion.
it.
I want to know,
Mark motions what she says.
yes.
I second.
Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, or do we need a roll call? We need a roll call. Sorry. Yeah, roll call. Sorry. Okay, go
All
ahead.
right, Mr. France,
Yes,
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
Ms. Lorette,
Yes.
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. Slower,
Yes.
Mr. Dunlop,
Yes,
Chair Price.
Yes. Okay. Now to drain commissioner. And then. Okay, so we can continue that discussion.
I would make drain commissioner exactly mirror what we just did for the treasurer.
It increased by 2,000.
Yes.
Any other thoughts?
I like your idea, Mark, better.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, like 12,000 total, let's get them up there, the Kalamazoo's area, but that's.
I'll second his motion.
Did somebody make a motion?
Lynn made a motion for $2,000.
To mirrors
Oh,
what we just did for the treasurer.
I'm not sure if I made that motion, but I will make that motion.
okay,
Okay, Madam Chair,
yes,
he's got childcare issues, he's gotta go.
thank you, Nathan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion. Here. Treasure, something to that effect, so it would be 27 increase by 2,000. COLA. And then same thing for 28. And then Craig. You were seconding that? Okay. More discussion on this. I think we have a parting of the ways here a little bit.
Yeah,
So we're, one set of folks wants 2,000, the other set of folks says 6,500.
6,000.
6,000
Each
each
year.
year, yeah.
Oh, 6,000, okay.
Mark's idea.
So what if you did something like 4,500 each year?
What's the difference, I mean. That'd be, you might probably do something like that.
Or we bump him up to,
I have to say something here. I've had hundreds of employees over my lifetime. And I've never felt comfortable when there was income that came to that employee for work that I was responsible for, that they got paid directly on. And I'm speaking specifically to that $12,000 that came from that insurance company. I don't wanna get into an argument about it, cause I'm not entirely sure if I'm on solid ground here, but it just strikes me funny. And, I'm gonna say no to any increase beyond what's been moved here. Now, I'm just one vote.
Well,
But
keep in
I
mind that didn't change base salary. It's a
No.
one-time payment.
know,
Understood.
but whether it's one time or whether it's not, it doesn't feel right to me that there was 1099 income earned off a job that was granted to him by the county. Not under his own, you know, under his own. So. And. I didn't like his attitude. Be entirely honest with you. So maybe that's going outside of my venue here a little bit. But I'm a no vote on anything that goes beyond that. The rest of you, if y'all wanna vote for more, go ahead.
I will just share with you, Craig, that, I know Livingston County, in some of the data that was given to us, they pay their treasurer an extra amount to, do the general ledger for the county. So as an example of something, this is a different set of circumstances than that. Just, there's,
Well, does that money come from the county or does it come from an outside vendor?
I believe for that case, it would come from the county, for the Livingston County.
Okay, are there any other drain commissioners that you know of that accept money from outside vendors directly and not through their employer?
This wasn't an outside vendor, it was the Ottawa County Insurance Authority.
Well, and I think the treasurer did as well, correct? So both of those positions, and we just increased the treasurer, so I would agree,
But we
I
did-
do agree with you.
We just increased the treasurer by 2,000.
Yep.
So it'd be the exact same that we
Right,
afforded the treasurer.
so I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
I would think that if we're going to do an increase, since both of those positions did get an increase after the last commission met, that wasn't included in what we voted on.
How involved was the county in this insurance $12,000? Did they go to the county, say we're gonna give the drain commissioner $12,000, or did they just cut a deal directly with him and send him a check, or how did this end up like this?
Well, so, yeah, I'm wondering if that's really outside of our point of discussion. I know if you have a concern about it, but it really doesn't is pertinent to our discussion here.
Ideally, we're looking on a go-forward basis and you're looking at the position of the person. If you have questions about what occurred with the insurance authority, we, as staff, we would happily make ourselves available, but respectfully, I would encourage you just to look forward.
Yeah, and I don't wanna create a problem where there isn't one, make work where we don't need to do it. I just have a philosophical difference with this whole concept of an employee taking money outside of his employer without involvement of the employer. So I'm a no vote, but this is my freshman year and sophomore year in this committee.
Well, there's a motion on the table.
Yeah, that you seconded, so I guess if we wanna move forward with it,
Who seconded that?
Right.
Okay,
Can we repeat the motion?
yes, the motion is to increase the drain commissioner's salary in 2027 by $2,000 plus COLA. And 2028 increase by $2,000 plus COLA.
And who was that moved by?
To mirror the unclassified COLA.
it was Lynn.
Yeah.
Moved by me, seconded by Craig.
Any other discussion? So we still got the 2,000, we've got the folks thinking 6,000.
I'm in agreement with them on this one.
Yeah, I don't know on this, I don't know where you're at this part. I don't think that's enough.
I mean, it's not, in my opinion, it's not, but,
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I apologize for
No, you're
interrupting,
fine. You're fine.
but just counting the numbers. we've lost one member.
Right.
So
You have four.
I respect all the fact that you all are
That's big.
volunteers, but you can keep debating this. But unless you find some common ground, based on my head count, I don't think you have the votes to vote this up or.
Well, how many do you need?
6.
Four.
Four.
Four?
You're split 3-3 right now. So
Well,
respectfully, if you can meet
Where
in
do
the
you
middle.
sit with it? I guess, we know where these guys sit. Where do you
I was
sit?
kind of offering the 20 with the 4,500 as a place in the
Yes, I
middle.
would, I'd split it, but
Yeah.
I could split it, but. It's still better than 4, it's not.
Okay.
So it's close to this.
Well, let's see. I don't wanna leave this here. We could take a vote and just see where we're,
Do we want to do any more discussion on it before we vote?
I mean, doesn't need to be more discussion. I mean, it's pretty clear cut where the lines are.
Well, we have to
That's
vote
still
on
gonna
the
bring
motion
him
is
up to
seconded, but then we can have
130.
another motion if you want to. After that's voted down.
I'm just saying that with that increase, it's still gonna bring that salary up to 130 plus,
Roughly 130.
plus COLA, which is in line with Kalamazoo, in line with Ingham. Still lower than Kent. But I think that's still reasonable.
I don't know.
It's just my opinion.
No, I know. I just think it should be a little bit higher. That's no, I know. That's why I liked her split the difference, but.
Well,
my suggestion doesn't. My suggestion doesn't sound like anybody's willing to go there.
I also think that if we increase that particular position by that much, that amount, that's more than we increased the higher salaries. By quite a bit.
understand that by voting no on this, if you choose to, that's changing nothing. So,
No, it just takes care of that one motion,
Yeah,
right,
and then we're
back to it.
opening the floor to another motion.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I want to do that, why don't we do it so we move forward?
Okay.
and see where we're
Okay.
at.
So all in favor of the motion?
no.
Roll call,
I'm
sorry.
ready.
Sorry.
All right, Ms. Lorette,
Yes.
Mr. Dunlap,
Yes.
Mr. Brower,
No.
Mr. France,
No,
Mr. Jansen,
yes.
Chair Price.
No. No, we're tied, so that doesn't carry, so that's no, but it's okay. Okay. So
Do we move on to the clerk and come back to
Yeah.
that? Or do we?
Yeah,
okay.
because we've got a few more items to cover anyway. But that, we've got to get on to. We could actually go on to road commission as well.
I move that we increase the clerk's salary in 2027 to an even $150,000. Plus COLA.
Okay. And
And in 2028, a $5,000 increase.
Is it 5,000?
5,000. It's tied to the super qualified employees of.
okay. Any discussion on that?
We have said.
I said.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
thank you. Discussion.
so we're talking roughly 10,000 first year plus another 5 the second year. With the impact of COLA.
Yep.
On the second year.
Is that roughly what you were thinking?
Well, I was looking at the median of 150, we're thinking we ought to be somewhere close to there.
That's about, it makes sense, that's not what I was thinking.
Yep. Because remember, he's like 6% below median right now.
5 point for the 5,000 second year, I'm not sure. I'll feel that.
Okay,
If we get to the median. Will we want to kind of stay there or? So in the second year, you're pulling yourself, you're pulling above the median significantly.
But I remember you making a comment earlier that at some point, the thought was always to be at median plus 10%. Under a different administration, perhaps.
But we really haven't looked at the other positions with that in mind, have we?
The other positions, I think, are above the median.
Mhm.
They all are.
No,
The
Not
planning
the
commissioner's above both, the treasurer's above both.
no, it's not.
treasurer.
Treasurer is way below median, or they're above, I'm sorry, their pay is above the median.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is that what you were saying?
yeah, above both the average and the median.
Okay,
The sheriff's above both, the prosecuting attorney's above both, but Justin was below the median. And below the average
Above the average.
of this,
Slightly above the average. Yeah.
or above the average, yeah. Okay.
Keep in mind that when you add, an extra 5,000 second year differential, these positions is growing.
yeah,
It's not getting closer.
I think I would agree with the 150 plus COLA, and then I think that's
Is it
it,
that?
yeah.
I will amend by. Can I amend my, or do I have to with the guy? I will amend my motion. To be $150,000 in 2027. Plus COLA eligibility. Leave it at that.
And 28 would just be COLA.
And 28 would just be.
Who supported it? Mark, do you support that?
Yeah.
So we got a motion of support. Okay.
Want to vote?
Yeah,
Yes.
just making sure, when you're ready. Okay,
Ready.
so the motion is to increase the clerk salary to 150,000 plus COLA in 2027. In 2028, there's no salary increase, but a COLA increase tied to the unclassified COLA adjustment for employees.
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. France,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
Ms. Lorette,
Yes.
Mr. Dunlop,
Yes.
Chair Price.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, so now we have to go, is there any thought about going to the drain commissioners? Or, excuse me, the road commission?
Did you? Did anybody help me with?
You raised them last time.
We did.
Last time, 10 years though.
Yeah, it was the first time I've been done in 15, I think.
Yeah, they've gone, yeah.
They were very thankful for that.
I've never done it.
There it is. Okay, thank you.
Well, this is the current right now,
The
15.
board chair makes 15.5, the road commissioners make 12.5,
It's
which.
It's well above the median and the
Yeah.
average both.
I would say I would be good with a cost of living increase for 2027. For those positions.
So you're willing to
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Medium bid.
Okay, 27. Well,
So motion was simply to allow for the COLA in both 27 and 28 years.
tied to, so this is interesting, tied to what though? Is there a different entity? Are they tied to our?
You could tie it to the county and unclassified, or you could tie it to their unclassified and
Yeah.
road.
Oh.
I would tie it to the county just because that's what. That's important.
They have a different union structure, probably contracts and stuff, so.
Probably just keep it uniform with what we've been doing.
Because the
So
road
keep it tight.
commissioners are appointed by the county board.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I like the idea of keeping. it
Yeah, keep it
uniform
uniform with what we've been doing.
So unclassified?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unclassified county.
Motion and second.
Yes.
All right. Madam Chair, we are ready when you are.
Okay, all those in favor, we will have Regina do a roll call.
Yes, I'm gonna. Okay, all right, Mr. Dunlap,
Aye.
okay. Ms. Lorette,
Yes.
Mr. Jansen,
Yes.
Mr. France,
Yes,
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Chair Price.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we are going back to the drain commission discussion, drain commissioners discussion. Okay.
So Madam Chair,
Yes.
the motion at a $2,000 adjustment plus COLA failed on a 3-3 tie.
Let's talk about how strongly you want to increase and for why you want to increase it by a large amount of money. The 6,000.
Like I said, I'm just trying to get it back up to the other counties that are similar in size. And have similar, tributaries and water. I just, in my opinion, just personal thought. All that firm does in our way overseas and what he does, growing county, a lot of take care of things like that. But that's just my thoughts. Like I said, he's what, the fifth, 1, 2, 3, fourth highest?
I think he's the 5th highest in that list.
Yeah.
From what I figured out.
12 gets him up there, even 9 or 8 gets him closer to the, up to Engel, Kalamazoo. He's 12 less than those two. And they're a lot smaller. Than we
I
are.
couldn't go any less than your original concept. Or 6 and 6, less than personal window. Anything that poses less than that.
Okay. So we've got Craig, not wanting to go above 2,000. Lynn. And Angela not going above 2,000 as well.
I would say at this point that we're an hour over our scheduled time.
Yep.
Why don't we table this question for our next meeting?
That's fine. If the people that we had kind of said we didn't want to come back.
But if it's just for one. I'd rather come back just for one. Question. We can solve it.
I would really love to see if we could get a resolution today,
Yeah,
if we can. This is just the last thing we need to vote on, right?
yeah.
And then we're done. We don't have to come back
I
next.
think you should clarify what you did in the commissioners too.
Yeah, we could do that.
Just clean that up,
Right.
but I don't think that's controversial, so.
Right,
Right.
that's right.
2 things that'll take 5 minutes.
Well, okay, why don't we do that now then?
So I guess.
Yeah.
The commissioners, okay.
Before we get into controversy. Do we want to wait for Brian to come back? Do we need Brian for this?
I think you could probably start.
We could, we'll cover for Brian.
Okay.
So what do we do to, take back what we already?
Well, you just, you were adding,
No, do we just make a
these
new?
5,000, you just clarifying that.
Instead
You
of
were
doing a base salary,
adjusting
you want to
that second
adjust
year
the second
with
year.
COLA,
Right,
yes.
right.
So,
You were adding another 5,000 on top of COLA.
Yeah.
so rather than specifically saying.
The amount,
The amount,
Yeah.
we want $5,000 more.
correct,
In the second year.
yes.
Okay.
State the amount first year and then the 5,000 in the second.
Yes, as adjusted.
It's like
Yes.
with everyone.
No, as commissioners.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, why don't we do that, we can get
Yeah.
that out of the way.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Yeah.
Just
First
clarify
year.
that was your intent.
Yeah,
And then
to add
vote on
five.
it again.
I think you should vote
Okay.
on it, just to clarify that.
first year had the base salary, second year was a $5,000 plus COLA.
Yes,
So do we need a motion to do that?
yeah, I think. Marcus made it.
Okay.
Angela seconded it.
Yes,
So that would be, let me go back.
It's just to add the
Sure.
5,000 on top of their COLA adjusted base.
Base
For the second
for
year.
the second
Second
year.
year.
30 and 35 for the first year,
And
and
then-
then you're gonna do 5,000 each for
For
the
the
second
second year.
plus COLA.
That's
Yeah.
I thought we were at 30, 35, and 40.
So the first year, yes, is 30, 35, and 40.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep,
Plus
you're right.
plus COLA, and then year two, they will get a $5,000 increase plus
Plus
COLA.
COLA. Yes,
That's the motion on the table.
yes.
That would be $5,000 increase at each position.
Mhm.
Okay.
You could probably do a voice vote on that.
Yeah,
We're looking at you.
You gonna do a voice vote or roll call?
Doesn't matter. I guess you could do roll call.
Let's do roll call, Money.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brower,
yes.
Mr. France.
Yes,
Mr. Jansen.
Yes.
Ms. Larette,
Yes.
Mr. Dunlop,
Yes,
Chair Price.
Yes. Okay, that carries. Okay, now we're back to drain commission.
I would move that we raise the salary, base salary by $12,000. First year with COLA and just COLA the second year.
You have it. Is there a second to that?
Second,
1,000 for first year.
Okay. Discussion.
we've already had discussion on it.
Blue in the face discussion.
Yeah, it's just, now it's time just to vote on it. I mean, unless, yeah, I mean, it's one of those.
Who seconded that for me?
I did.
First year, 27, 28 COLA. Okay,
I guess if we are gonna have a slight discussion on it, that does bring them in line with Kalamazoo County and Ingham County, so,
And it just stays there plus COLA, so it
right?
doesn't move.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. Any other discussion?
I was just gonna ask, are you ready for the roll call?
Are we ready?
So,
Roll call.
All righty. Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. France,
Yes,
Mr. Jansen,
No.
Ms. Larette,
Yes.
Mr. Dunlop,
no,
Chair Price.
Yes.
Passes.
I move that we adjourn.
We had a couple things.
Oh,
Skippy.
yeah.
You're gonna wanna cancel your other meeting.
I motion to, cancel the next meeting.
Should we leave that meeting on the books in case of?
That pops up.
I don't know, all of these were voted correctly, we have.
Yeah, I think.
was
Well, we
that the person that we were voting on?
Yeah,
I don't think that was proper.
it's very common, yeah, yeah.
Well, it changed the atmosphere.
Mm. It might have, but I think the group is used to the officials stopping in.
It just wasn't a hill I was willing to die on, and, you know, it is in comparison with other counties, so. That's why I voted yes.
Okay,
And,
I had a different objection than that, but, so,
and I know how hard Joe works. He just works extraordinarily hard, but
But
I
again, it's
don't.
about the position.
It's the position, not the person,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So. Consideration, commission, well,
yeah,
we, next on the agenda was commission considerations or recommendations for the future.
So Madam Chair, typically you would be authorized to prepare a letter summarizing everything that was just voted on.
Okay.
We would then work with you to get a resolution prepared for via the board.
Yep.
And ideally, this group would authorize the preparation of those materials.
Or we're saying we were talking about doing a letter instead of a resolution that can.
Yeah, so I know.
Well, can we do a resolution that would indicate that we should send a letter to the board? Okay,
So what we're looking for is just this group to authorize you to sign that document. And if you refer to it as correspondence or as resolution, I'm not concerned. I just want the chair to be authorized to prepare that document for the board's consideration.
Based on everything that we voted on
Yes.
today, then
Yeah.
yes.
I would move that we, this board support. Authorize. Sign the document.
and do we think we need a letter or a resolution?
Just do a letter.
Okay,
Letter.
Just one other question. One of the very first things we were asked to do was to approve the minutes of this group from 2 years ago, which didn't make any sense, so we didn't do it. But do we need to approve our minutes from today's meeting at some point? So we don't put that burden on, you know, the commission in 2 years.
Well,
You'd have to get back together and we can meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem is we don't know exactly what the.
But your problem's 2 years.
yeah, that's true.
And you'll have,
Yeah.
every two.
video proof to document everything.
I think it's supposed to be.
A motion of support.
Yep, all those in favor of the recommendation, or to authorize a letter to the board, indicating our votes today. I don't know if I said that right, but
I think a simple voice vote is fine.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign, the motion carries. So that's the only thing. Did you have anything else in mind, commission considerations or recommendations for the future?
I think that there is no need for the next meeting. If you're comfortable, you can cancel it.
The next meeting,
Good job.
Madam Chair,
yes.
can I just offer a quick comment to you all? Folks, thank you.
Yeah.
With sincerity, thank you for taking the time and working through this. It is appreciated. I know this is long. If I'd realized me stepping out to use the bathroom would get the. One last thing. So to you all, thank you very much. I also want to just take a quick time to note Regina has done a heavy lift on getting
Yeah.
this
She
ready.
did, no, she did pretty good, yeah, no, it is.
So thank you all and thank you.
It's all the.
Literally a heavy lift with all the papers.
I almost think back, yeah, good.
Yeah. Well, thank you all.
Yeah.
Glad we're
I thought it was